The time is now. It's time to power up! Hi, everybody. It's me, Gazbot, as expected. Well, as expected, but hoped for. Last week, I missed the show, and I apologize for that. I thought I was going to be able to do it, and then by the time I found out I couldn't figure out a way to notify people. So hopefully you didn't feel betrayed by my absence. But I'm here today, and to make it up to you, I'm going to do only requests. I'm not going to do any sketches for myself, just straight requests the whole time. And wow, we got a lot of people in here already. I guess that's what happens when I send out the notification early. So hello to everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces. Looks like we got Ox and Abe and Dolly Girl and Danny and Arzuki and everybody else. So thanks for being here. You do feel betrayed. So here's the thing. I'm going to try a new thing with requests because a lot of times they get scrolled past in the chat and I can't find them and I forget who said what. So if you use the ! request command and then put a space, then put what you want, it'll put you in a queue that I have on a separate monitor that'll show up, and that way it'll stay on there. Now here's the thing. I could only hold one at a time. It doesn't mean you can't get more than one request per show done, but only one can be in the list at a time. So make sure you pick the one you want most first. Let's see. Dolly Girl says, I have a print of Gaz's Mothra print. I was headed to Japan and wanted... Oh, yes. Thank you so much for that. I was so confused last week. Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to figure out a way to, like, send a message, like, like an email to everybody, but I couldn't figure out quite how to do it. So sorry about that. Had I known sooner, I maybe would have done a stream where I mentioned it, but my mother was in town and we were out doing stuff and, All right, so let's see. Oh, sorry, Ox. I didn't open it up yet. Let me get it open real quick. This is all new to me, so it should be a notification that it's open. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so everybody could do it. It says cost 0. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. So go ahead and try that. Oh, wait, what's this say? Couldn't buy the print. Wait, what is... Oh, I see what you're saying. You wanted to buy the print, but you needed your money for your trip to Japan. That's fine. You went to the zoo. Well, we went to a couple places. We went to it wasn't called a zoo. I mean, it was essentially a zoo because it had animals and stuff, but it was called a safari. It was because they're more protected animals that are saved and they let them roam free. There's not like cages and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. All right, so we're getting some requests in. I'll give it a minute to get a few more. I got one from Ox. I got one from Arzuki. So Ox is saying Jack Skellington as a mech. Arzuki is saying the character Wolf from Future Man, which is a TV show that we watch. And but yeah, but the thing I was doing when I didn't make it to the show yesterday or last week was there was a Chinese Lantern Festival, and we went to that, and it ended up going to that exactly when I would have done my show, and so I kind of was there when I realized, oh, this is going to be a problem, so sorry about that. All right, Danny F9 has Kiryu from Godzilla, so we got a few up there. All right, so let me close this. I just had this open from before, and... Yeah, you guys are doing it exactly right. And those will stay up there because if you remember, sometimes you're like, wait, who said what and where was it? You guys can talk as much as you want, and I still have a separate area with the requests. So, and once I choose your request, you'll be able to put another in. The only downside is you can't queue up like 3 or 4 at a time. That's not my decision. That's just the way the program works for whatever reason. Let's see. Arzuki says, I'm surprised it's not Jack Skellington as a mech with a mohawk. Don't give him any ideas. And then Dolly Girl, ooh, Chinese Lanterns. Yeah, it is pretty cool. On my YouTube channel, I put up some videos. Let me see, I could send that little link if you need it. On my YouTube channel, I've been putting up videos because I'm doing the 100 days of making comics, and I'm working on my werewolves and unicorn story for an anthology I'm going to be in, and on the video I put up yesterday or the day before, it actually has a little bit of footage from the festival if you're interested in. Towards the end, like the last 5 or 6 minutes is all Lantern Festival stuff. But I digress. I'm going to go ahead and choose. I got 3 requests right now. And, hey, we might want a mohawk still. Wolf has a bit of a mohawk mullet. That's true. I think I'm going to go easy on myself to start. I think I'm going to choose Wolf from Future Man to start here. There's that, because I think I'll be able to find the easiest reference for that. So I'm going to just do a headshot, and I'm going to open up my other window so that I could get some reference. Doop, 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 doop. Let me see, one sec. Open. So, Wolf from Future Man. For those that don't know, Future Man is a sci-fi comedy show on Hulu. It's only on Hulu. It's like Hulu, paid for it, like the way Netflix makes their own shows sometimes. And Wolf is one of the 3 main characters. and it's live action. It's a little bit Rick and Morty-ish, kind of. I mean, not exactly, but that's the closest thing I could think of. And I'm right now pulling up photos for reference of the character Wolf. Let's see. Ox, I still need to watch season 2. We just finished that. I won't say any spoilers though. Erzuki, you might want to turn off the next up since it's lies. Wait, why? Oh, oh, that is weird. Okay, I'll turn that. Well, I'll turn that off next because that is lies. Sorry, not that you won't get picked necessarily, but all right, that one's pretty good. I think I found a good one. I'm gonna just double check that I can find another one. I'm looking. I'm looking. All right, I think I found my reference picture. I'm just gonna save it. Saving image as. And the reason I do that is so that I could zoom in on it, because sometimes if I'm looking online, it's hard to zoom in for some reason, the way they have the algorithm set or whatever it is. Let me see if I missed something in chat here. Lies, lies, lies. I feel like Wolf counts for anthology work too. Well, the name certainly fits. All right, let me, sorry, real quick here. Got to get my thing open. That's the one downside when I need to get a reference that I'm not ready for. I have to just sort of like, you guys got to sort of wait while I get it ready. All right. Twitch. Doop, 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 doop. And then I sometimes save it into a folder, which isn't the folder I thought it was. Yep, that's what I did this time. I saved it to my videos folder because I'm a fool. All right, I found it now. Opening it up. Closing that. Now I have it looking right at me, the wolf face. All right, and let's see. Erzuki says, I'm very excited for the anthology. Yeah, you and me both, sister. You and me both. I think there's going to be 30 creators, if that's correct. I keep saying 31, but I think it's 30. Ox, you can maybe help me out here. Oops, I don't want that full opacity. I'll bring it down to 75 and bring the flow up to 100. Okay, that's better. But yeah, I think it's 30 creators total, 4 pages each. As of now, we're not doing any pinups. It's all story, which is pretty cool. And the theme is werewolves and unicorns, and some are literally about werewolves or unicorns or both, but some are just more, fantasy in general, like a dragon or something that could kind of fit within that greater theme. Mine is about werewolves and not unicorns. And part of it is that everybody who is going to be in the anthology has to have completed the challenge of 100 days of making comics, which I have and which Ox has and other people, obviously. And then the other thing is you have 100 days to do it because everything's due. I mean, today's day 25, so if you're working on it like I am, you have 75 more days to finish it, which for 4 pages should be more than enough. And it seems like everybody's doing good progress. Oh boy, Greg Scott Bailey with a subscription. Well, hello, and thank you for the sub. I know Mecha Gazbot told you, but I'm telling you as well. Thank you. Let's see. Ox confirms it is 30 creators. Awesome. Oh, look at that. Look at the OKs. Okay. 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 One day I should probably do some for the higher tier subscriptions, but I guess I'm not that worried that people are going to be busting down my door for the higher tier subscriptions right now. I'm thankful and surprised enough that you guys are doing the base level subscriptions, so thank you. Uh-oh, what's happening? Erzuki with subscription. I can't, man, it's a double subscription day. That is fantastic. Thank you both for that. And let me see. I'm going to have to do another pass on this. This is just it's sort of more of a cleaned up rough than I normally do, but. And again, I'm not going to get too crazy about the actor likeness. I'm going a little bit more for the character than the actor. I mean, obviously it'll look a bit like him, but I try not to get too bogged down in character likenesses. And I think I want to move this whole collar down because his face is. I'm just going to grab everything here because his face is a little bit longer than I made it, and bring it down like that. That's better. Okay, and let's see, chat. The Dolly Girl. Sometimes you have to be super patient to see awesome work when it's regular life instances. I have no patience at all when it comes to art and creations. I can wait forever. I love art. Well, thank you. That's true, and it's very cool. Not just talking about me, obviously, but like with the anthology. Like I have to wait as well because I'm going to be in it, but I got to wait months to see what my fellow creators are doing, and it's going to be pretty awesome to be in the book and have everybody. And the other thing is, this year I got a table at the small press area of San Diego Comic-Con. I've gone before, but I've never sold anything there. And so if it works out the way it's supposed to, in addition to my own comic, The Horror Ray 4, I should have a copy of the new anthology, several copies, I should say, to sell, which is awesome, not just for me, but for anybody who's in the book. They get like de facto representation at the biggest Comic-Con in the country, possibly the world. So it's good timing. But it also means that nobody could be late. And actually, I'm one of the admins of the group, and I gotta maybe see about making an announcement just to make sure everybody, because everybody knows it has to be done, but kind of like, hey, it has to be done. No, it really has to be done, because if it's not done, you're gonna miss a chance to be in the in San Diego Comic-Con essentially. And I think that might light a fire under everybody's butts and make them know that they can't delay. All right, a little scruff beard. And a little Goku from Danny. Ox says, but also Gaz was on the Artcasters live stream last night, so go watch that as well. I may have been a little bit harsh with my excitement of wanting people to get their art done. I cheerlead sometimes like a drill instructor. Like, come on, you can do it. What are you doing? Draw more. Do it. But it's all out of enthusiasm and encouragement for people to do better. All right, I think that's good for a first pass. I'll lower the opacity. And if you haven't put a request in, there's still time. You can put it in now, and I might pick it at the end of the show. Who knows? Excuse me, let's get set. Because right now I only have 2 requests in total. Well, technically 3 because I'm working on one. But let me remove. I have to manually remove Erzuki since I'm doing it. Yes. And then, you know what? I'm going to change that control that Erzuki was talking about. The next up. Okay, there we go. Because I realize what has happened is, without intending to, the program has chosen Ox's request to be next, which I may or may not have chosen, but I was going to wait and see if more people put in. So basically what that means is Ox is going to be next because he's no longer in the queue, and so if I don't do it, I'm going to forget. So, but right now there's only one other than Ox is up next, and then there's one active request in the queue. So if you have a request, feel free to put it in. And if you, Erzuki or Ox, now that you're cleared, you should be able to put another one in. Excuse me. And let's see. What does that say? Abe says, okay. Ox says, the programming never lies. Well, I guess not. Not in this case. Or if it was lying, I've adjusted my human input to match the programming, to not allow it to lie. I don't think I'm going to do this one in color. I might put a little bit of grayscale in, but Wolf and the world he comes from doesn't need a lot of bright color anyway. I think it works better as sort of more of a drab sort of rendition. The main thing, what I didn't notice until like season 2 is he's got this scar on his eye, and there's no eyebrow on that eye. Like the actor probably shaves it or puts makeup on it or whatever, but like he really only has one eyebrow, the character, which is kind of cool. Like whatever hurt his eye burned his eyebrow off too. Like he's got a ridge, like the bone, like the part we have right here, but no hair. Actually, his eyes are lighter than that. He's got, I don't know if they're blue, but they're light. So I'll do like that. Let's see. Got a new request from Abe. Wait, what is that? Abe says, Gaz's cat versus Mike's cat a la Pokemon. And then Erzuki, Corey Wolfhart is all color. That's true, but I'm not doing Corey Wolfhart. I'm doing Wolf. Standard Wolf. Basic. Warrior. Loyal. Future. Rat-eating wolf. See this one. I'll give him a nice thick eyebrow. The other one I'll leave blank. And then his little eye. I saw somebody saying something about, I didn't read the article, it was when I was just now looking up the reference, about how Charlie Day, how Wolf is like an alternate reality Charlie Day. I could kind of see that. He's like a tougher, bigger version. But they definitely have, I could see it. And even fights rats. So if you ever watch It's Always Sunny, Charlie Day, the actor, is on that, and he fights rats, but in a more traditional way. Like he's a janitor. I would love it if they made a, this is a little bit spoilery, but just for like the first few minutes of the first episode of Future Man, there's a video game in it where you fight biotics and stuff. And it would be awesome if they made a real video game of that and had Wolf and Tiger and everybody in the video game. That'd be pretty cool. I would play that. I say that even though I hardly ever play video games, but I'd make time for that one. Let's see. Deli Girl, eyebrowless. Half eyebrowless, I mean. Yeah, exactly. Erzuki, Josh Futterman is janitor. That's true. What if this show is actually the id, ego, and superego in Charlie Day's head? That would be pretty great. That would be a great final episode of, like, just Charlie sitting there, huffing paint, and they go, no, Wolf, Tiger. And then Mac comes in, and he's like, oh, Charlie. All right. Yeah, this will be the final line pass. I'm not going to get too crazy with him. And then I'll go in and put some shading in. Black and white shading, or blue and white and gray shading, rather, since I didn't actually use black to draw him for some reason. Sometimes I use blue or a different color underneath to, like, differentiate that it's not the final lines. But since these are sketches, sometimes that ends up being the final line anyway. Whereas if this was, something I was going to make a print of or a commission or something, I'd do at least one more pass with a tighter black line. He's got this weird armor. It's sort of like scale mail, but it's like tied together with little knots and stuff. Maybe it's like rat hair and I don't know. I can't tell. At a glance, it doesn't look that weird, but the more I look at it, it's clearly made out of something strange. And then he's got a big, I guess, an axe over his shoulder. Anything is a weapon to Wolf, though. Oh, Greg Scott Bailey says, back again. Work is making me work. Lesai, or Lesai. Lesai? Lessie. Nessie? I don't speak French, but I know what you're saying. Well, thanks for trying to watch during work. That is nice of you, and thanks again for the subscription. That was super nice of you. All right, I think I will stop this. Actually, maybe give him a little bit. The mustache comes down a little bit more than that. It's not quite so thin as I made it. And same thing with the beard, just a little bit more. All right, and then I'll turn this to 20. Actually, I'll turn it off completely. Yeah, I'll turn it off completely, and then I'll just go with some shading. I'll do a darker blue-black and pick a 58, let's say. And I'll go with some heavy shadow first. And then I'll go in and erase it. And then maybe do a highlight if I need to. He has a little bit of bags under his eyes and a little bit more weather worn, which I kind of left out of the line work, but maybe I'll put it in the shadows a little bit here. Let's see. Greg says, fire the missiles. I'm le tired. Fire the missiles. I'm le tired. Your job is firing missiles? Dear gods, I wish. That would be much more entertaining, I'm sure. What do you do? I'm a missile firer. At who? Don't care. Just press the button and go. Really? Well, it beats retail. True. Okay. All right. I'll put a lot in his hair. Give him some dark hair. Maybe I'll go back and erase part of that for the shine, but it's easier right now just to blast it all in. And then his armor is mostly dark too, so I'll cover all that up. And then, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll erase a little bit on here, and then I'll go in with a second layer of shadow on top of this for the heavier shadows. Okay, a little bit under the eye, and put some on here. Definitely putting the black under the eyes. It looks like he almost has like eyeliner or something on as well. I think that helps. All right, so we'll take all this down to 50, and then I'll do a little bit of erasing. Let's see. Dolly Girl says, I'm off earlier today, not at work this time. Oh, well, that's cool. Good for you. Thanks for checking us out, even though you're not stuck at work. And Greg Scott Bailey, I would get fired for firing missiles when I'm not supposed to fire them. That's funny. And Erzuki, this is how wars start. Yeah, let's only fire the missiles we're supposed to fire when we're supposed to fire them. I can see how it'd be tempting, though. That button's just like blink, 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 and you're like, I got 3 hours left to work. Blink, blink, blink. I'm going to press it. Blink, blink, blink. You're fired. Ah, it was worth pressing it. Blink, blink, blink. That's the button says that. It's not blinking a light. It's actually talking to you. Blink, blink. And you think it's trying to get your attention, but really it's just saying your eyes are dry. Blink, buddy. Blink. All right, so I'll leave that, and then I'll put another layer of shadow. Oops, why is it not going? Because I have it on eraser. Okay. Put another layer of shadow here to represent the heavier shadows, and maybe he's got a little bit. I'll still put it under his eyes, even though it like it's more about him being tired than it is about the actual lighting conditions in wherever he is. And put some in his hair, same thing because he has dark hair. A little bit more in here, a little bit in there, and a little bit under there. And do I want to bring that down to 25? Let's see. It doesn't look any different. What the heck? Oh, it does look a little different. I think 50 was better. Makes a stronger statement. And then I'll put a little bit of something in the background just to pop him out a little bit. And we're almost done with him, and then we're going to move on to the next thing, which is Ox's, which I foolishly let the computer clear. So now I'm part of the reason for the new queue system was so I didn't have to go, now what did Ox want? But because it did that, I am like, I believe it was Mecha Jack Skellington. Mecha Jack Skellington is what I believe it was. All right, now I'll take this down to 50. And maybe leave it at 75. Let me see. Yeah, I think leave it at 75. And there is Corey Wolfhart, or Wolf, as he is originally known. Oh, you know what? One thing, I'm going to give him a little cut. No, that's fine. I'm getting crazy. I'll leave it as is. So Dunzo, save as Wolf. He's done, and we're going to erase his face. All right, let me look at chat again. Oh boy, I got some bits. 5 bits from Zuki. Thank you very much. Came out great. Glad you like it. Thanks for the bits. There's a wolf for you. Greg Scott Bailey, previous to that, said, Day 472 of a missile firing commander, and I have not fired a missile. My job continues to be unfulfilling. Okay, you're definitely getting fired. A year and a half or so of waiting, I could see that getting old. All right, so next up is Ox. We got 2 people in the queue, Danny and Abe, but Ox is what's happening now. And unless I'm wrong, it's Mecha Jack Skellington. If I'm wrong, correct me, Ox. Otherwise, that's what we're going to do. I kind of know what Jack Skellington looks like. I could maybe do it from my head, but I'm not going to trust myself. So I'm going to pull up a reference for Jack Skellington real quick here. Jack Skellington, of course, the titular character from the Disney movie Nightmare Before Christmas, which Tim Burton, I believe, produced but didn't direct. I always used to think he directed it, and then one day I was like, oh, he's involved in it, but he didn't actually direct. So strange. All right, let me see. Okay, his face is easy enough to find. I'm looking for like something where I can see the whole face and body. Okay, there's a good one. This is Jack, by the way. I should have pulled up a picture of Wolf before I did the other one, but that's Jack Skellington for those that don't know. Which is funny because probably most people know Jack Skellington and most people probably don't know Wolf. But what's done is done. We're moving on. All right, so I got one reference there, and then I'll get another one for his face with like an open mouth. Let me see. There's a good one. I think it's from a t-shirt, but that's fine. Save image. Boots. Okay, so I got my references going. So officially now we don't know what the next one's going to be. We got Danny and Abe both have requests in. So as of now, they got a 50-50 chance each of being chosen. And I'm going to start working on Mecha. Oh, whoa, what is happening? I didn't even see that. Greg Scott Bailey with the 5 bits. Everybody's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Thank you both very much. And Ox with the okay, which means that I'm doing it right. And oh, Greg Scott Bailey with another bit. He wanted to be top bit master. He did it. He's got 6. You'll notice I have a soda, so I probably won't need to take a soda break today. That was another thing I wanted to try to make up for last week by giving a little bit more time, a little bit more requests. Oops, didn't mean to do that. All right, so let's see. Jack Skellington, Mecha Jack Skellington. This will take a little longer than Wolf for sure because there's a little more interpretation to it. And I think I'm going to do a waist up sort of deal so I can show some of his body. And it's like an ox gaz. It's like, ooh, okay, ooh, or ooh, okay, ooh. And Abe with the Bob Ross. Thanks, everybody. All right, so let's see. Jackie here. We're going to give him his head bone. And then he's got, his crazy collar. And he's got a skinny little body, but it is actually bigger up top where like his rib cage and stuff would be. And it's a little elongated. And then his arms are super crazy long. But you know what? That's not good. If he's a mecha. Let me start over. I don't like the pose I'm giving him because I forgot. He's got to be more mecha. So, oops. I don't want that. I want this. All right, so do him like this. And even though he's skinny, we're going to have more of an arc to his back. I'll bring this up a little bit. size-wise. There we go. I think I'm going to tilt it a little bit too. Okay. And then we'll put the arms here, and then he's got super long arms. Most humans, like, their arms go down to about mid-thigh. Well, I guess his kind of go down to mid-thigh. His whole body's stretched out is the point, is the proportions are crazy. So his hands and arms are, like, way bigger. I'm going to have him like that. I'll keep his proportions, which actually, as a robot, will be fine, too, because it's not like I'm turning him into a more realistic character. Let me bring this down a little bit. Goop. Boop, boop, boop. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, this is going to definitely have more passes than the previous few. Bring that up there. And then he's got his tails. All right, let me turn this whole thing to 25 and see if I could start carving out a little bit more of the detail. Let me check the chat real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, just a flurry of emotes and bits and good times all around. Okay, so his face. Oh, let me make this whole thing bigger. So his face, we're gonna have him looking. Oops, have him looking this way, kind of up and to the right, and he'll have his like sort of more angry Jack face, but like with a sinister smile. Not like I'm so angry, but we're like, ah, what's this? Your destruction! Woohoo! That I don't know. At the end, he turned into somebody else. Tigger. He turned into Tigger at the end there. I'm Mecha Jack Skeleton, and blowing things up is what I do best. Woohoo! Wow, I thought I was gonna do a good Tigger based on the little laugh, and I was wrong. I was wrong. All right, so then he's got this little bat face, but we're gonna make this like it's made out of metal. How many is it? 3? Yeah, 3 spikes, I think. Like 3 bat flanges. Yeah, there's 3. Okay. So we'll have that. But again, make his are a little bit more organic. We're going to make them more angular because they're metal. Let me look back at the suit picture. I'm flipping back and forth between 2 different references. Let me move that in. I was accidentally covering up the chat with the reference, which also happens a lot. There we go. Oh, I think we got a new request. Let's see. Tiger from Future Man. Erzuki's going for broke on the Future Man train. Tiger is one of the other 3 main characters. Okay. And I think, again, I'll make this more of a point. He's got kind of like lapels and a suit opening, but I'm just trying to angularize everything before I even get into how robotic he is. And then I'll segment this. Maybe give him like a diamond here because he has the suit that's open, but maybe I'll turn that into some kind of hatch. And then bring this down. This is the kind of thing which would be like a cool commission that I would probably spend a really long time figuring out and thinking about. But for now, I'm just like, whatever the first thought or line into my head, that's what it is, because I don't have time to like really do it, like put any thought into it, you know? So it's kind of an interesting, you know, first impulse without giving it too much thought. This is what you get. And then his arms, make these sort of more balls. And that's kind of the first pass. Is I'm making it mostly like a regular Jack Skellington, but I'm just making it all angular and modular as though he was a robot. But on the next pass, I'll go in and add some more detailing to make him look less like just a action figure, you know, of Jack Skellington, and actually like some sort of anime mecha Jack Skellington, I think, is what I'm going to go for. And he's got really long fingers, which I don't think I'm showcasing very well. Maybe I'll just have one out like that. And then on this side as well. Or maybe, actually, does he have 3 fingers or 4? I feel like he probably only has 3. Yeah, he only has 3. Alex, looks rad so far, and you be the guy I'd have to... Well, thanks. Thanks on both accounts. No, I'm not saying it's going to be terrible. It's just, and sometimes when I'm working on something, I'll do 1 pass, and then I'll do 5 more passes, and then still go with my first idea, you know? But usually I'll explore it a bit. Like, I would draw Jack, like, by, like, the way he normally is first, because, like, I've maybe drawn him once in my life, you know? So I would draw Jack till I was comfortable drawing Jack, and then I would say, okay, what different versions of a robot could I make? You know, like, I would just explore it a little bit. Whereas this is much more immediate. It's like, go, Jack, skeleton, robot, done. I can't figure out what I want to do with that other hand. I guess fist was the best idea. All right. And then I could make these a little longer still, I think. All right, let me get rid of that layer. I'll take this one to 25. And now we'll see about adding some more mech-looking parts. Oh, you know what? I think this is going to be better if I do it with black. And I think also bring the opacity up to 90. And I was at 32, I'm going to bring it down to 25. Okay, there we go. Am I on the right brush? No, I'm not on the right brush either. Because I want hard wrap. Oh no, okay, there we go. Dolly Girl, ooh, make cats riding on a bobsled. Well, if that's your request, throw it in. But once you throw it in, until it gets chosen, you don't get another chance. So make sure it's the one you really want. All right, so he's got kind of yeah, let me redo that. He's got a pinstripe suit. So maybe I'll just make it so it's almost like wires or circuits or something making up the pinstripe. Let me cut this one across here, 25. So it's like his arms are made up of like mesh of wires. But that also resembles the pinstripe suit, even though it's not literally what it is anymore. All right, and then some in there. Okay. And then his cuffs, they don't have any big, I don't know what you call those things, cufflinks. Haha, they don't have any big cufflinks or anything, but I'm going to stick with the wire idea here. I'll have one wrapping around like that. And then most of them just going straight up. Again, to make it's sort of the balance between making it look like pinstripes, not deviating too much, but also, you know, got to have a few wires that, well, don't have to, but want to have a few wires that are not so perfectly pinstriped. And it's actually a pretty bad design because it seems like it'd be very vulnerable to just like ripping some wires off his arms, but maybe that's like his extra outer like energy coils, and underneath he's still gonna be fine. It just like slows him down a little bit if you rip those off. They're like they're coolant lines. There you go, because they're near the surface. That makes it sound like I know something about engineering, and I don't. But if I had to make something up, like for science fiction, like I am, there you go. They're coolant lines. All right, and I'll keep these. This works well because they're already bone. So the segments of a bone are very similar to the way you might do, you know, joints on a robot. Because, I mean, we really are kind of just meat robots, right? We got pulleys and stuff like that, and just all made out of meat and fiber and bone and stuff. All right, so would we see this one? Maybe a little bit. And these are real pointy. I imagine maybe he could like fire them off or something. All right, and then with this, we'll definitely make this its own piece up here. And I don't know what this triangle is here, but I don't like it, so I'm getting rid of that. But I do like the idea of this. And actually, the way I had him posed, I was thinking he'd be shooting something. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have him be shooting like a hidden missile out of this cavity in his abdomen, which is also roughly the shape of the triangle of the suit being open kind of under his rib cage. Samurai Ox, nice to meet you. I'm a meat robot. Okay. Yes, we're all meat robots. It sounds more interesting than humans sometimes, right? All right, so I'll bring this up like that to give him a little bit of flair. And then this sort of crotch plate. And then that back down and then up. Okay. And then here are the legs, which I will once again, you know, actually for the legs, I think I'll flip it. I'll have the wiring on the inside like this, and then actually have plating on the outside. And I'll just put a little shine line down so they won't be quite as pinstripey, but it'll still carry the theme by having it inside there. All right. And then just bring those in. Excuse me. And he does have the tails coming down, so I'll make that, again, more metallic. And I don't know if these are decorative. Maybe he could fly and these help like steer him, or like, you know, like a rudder or something. But that's not something we're going to get into today. That's just like, why does he have them? Maybe they're rudders. I'll fill this in black. Black and back. I'm Jack Skellington, and I'm here to say what's happening. Oh, it looks like Ox is now hosting with one viewer. Thank you very much, Samurai Ox. I appreciate every host, every view, every sip of Fresca. Oh, that's refreshing. Oh, that was a terrible joke. I apologize to my ancestors for that one. Okay, so let me get back up into this head area. I'm going to pull up my other reference where he has a different expression. And I just took a look at the list. We got 3 requests in the list right now, but there's still time to add more, of course. So who knows? Anything can happen. He's got a mostly round head, which I want to change to make him mecha, but I feel like it's going to change him too much. I think what I'll do is I'll keep it this sort of round oval shape because, you know, robots can be smooth and round. But what I'll do is I'll put some like plating lines and stuff. Like so. Nah, not that one. I don't like it. I think I'm going to just fill in the face first and then see what I want to add to it. Well, I guess one thing I could do, I'll do on the next face, is maybe put a glow in these eyes instead of leaving them black. And then this smile face goes up here. And he's got, it's always been weird because he's like kind of a skeleton, but he doesn't have skeleton teeth. It's more like a ball that has teeth cut into it. It's interesting. Almost like a seam line that's ripped. Which, considering, you know, Sally being his girlfriend, maybe that's why they get along, because his mouth is a ripped seam line and she's like a ragdoll with ripped seams. I'm probably reading too much into it, but just I'm going to change the shape of that real quick. It's a little bit better. I'm still giving him too much chin, I think. My wire's getting tangled. I'm going to unplug it. These are wireless headphones, but I still have to plug them in for a charge, but it's charged. Let me see, we got something here. Ape Sapien says, like Daft Punk, don't forget the mohawk. You. All right, and oops, covered up my reference. Yeah, I'm getting something a little bit wrong here. Well, I think I made the nostrils too big, so I'll make those a little smaller. That helps. And maybe, you know what, let me erase the whole bottom, because I think I'm trying to match up to a line that makes it harder. That's a little better. I guess it's a little bit more pumpkin shapey, which makes sense if he's the Pumpkin King. And then, okay, so you know what? I'm not gonna put any crazy details on his face. I'm gonna go back with a smaller brush, and then mohawks are super important. You guys and your mohawks, one day you're gonna rule the world, and the whole Earth is gonna get one big mohawk. That's where the missiles come in, terraforming the Earth to a mohawk. Okay, and then this. His bat tie, but I guess it's a bat tie, like a bow tie. I never thought of that. Okay. And I did it. I ended up putting a little bit too much of the organic back in there as I did that. I realized because I was thinking of him instead of the mecha him. I want to keep these lines straighter. That's better. So they'll still have a curve to them, but instead of like a nice flowing curve, it's like line, line, line to give it more of that mechanized feel. And I'll connect it there and there. And whoops, maybe I shouldn't have connected it like that. Let me see here. In, there, there, there. That's better. And then I'll go in with a smaller brush to give it lines there. And then this, oops, once again, got to keep it smooth and straight, not curved. Ox given the, I feel like it's like one of these, but I'm not sure. Mountains? Terraforming, missiles, whatever. It's all, any of that works. Anything I just said, it all fits. Let me see how we doing time. 6:09, not bad at all, not bad at all. All right, so we get the wires in here for that. Oh, here's what we go. We're gonna have the missile be a version of 0, so it'll have like a red glowing point. Hold on, I gotta redo this. 0 is his ghost dog that has the glowing nose like Rudolph, of course. Let me move this whole thing over a few inches. Well, a few pixels, I should say. And then let me see, make 0. I don't want to make it literally be a ghost dog, but I could make it white on the bottom. And it's got like the fins, like a rocket would have, but it also kind of looks like Zero's, like a little floaty ghost bottom. I guess I'll make it like a traditional missile. But what I'll do is I'll make it white and red. And then maybe write 0 on it. Actually, I'll do that with a smaller brush. It's not going to fit like this. Hey, missile. Look at that. We're bringing it all back together. Missile. Wow, I'm doing a terrible job drawing this missile. That's better. Okay, so that's launching. Too much. All right, and I'm going to put a couple little dots to erase some of the inside there for the fire. And on there as well. All right, I'm going to finish this arm behind it. Again, wires for the pinstriping, and then connective metal joints. Let's see. Ox says, I know you missed this while the stream was warming up, but I felt like this mech and Gypsy would be best friends and give each other mech piggyback rides. Oh, that would be an amazing, the Nightmare Before Pacific Rim or something. Piggyback rides. I feel like, given the way Jack is built and the way I'm building the mech, that Gypsy could certainly give Jack piggyback rides. I don't know if Jack could support Gypsy. Gypsy's a little bit of a thicker mech. Lady. Is Gypsy a lady? Well, Gypsy doesn't have a personality, I guess, but it sounds like a lady name. Gypsy Danger. You could meet her down on Hudson Street. Oh, my. Okay. And his little claw hand. There we go. And once again, the bones in the hand and the mechanical flanges, not that different. Samurai. All right, some straight lines, and we're getting close to being done with this part, and then I'll just go in with a detail, smaller brush for some detail lines. I might also not color this one, just put some shading, because once again, Jack is very black and white. Oh, I gotta look at the neck. He kind of looks like, he almost has a neck like he's a golf ball, like on a tee, in a way. Let me see, where's the other one? Yeah. So, see, this is like what his head should be. I'll make it, I'm make it a little thicker. Here's what I'll do. I'll put the little golf tee neck. But then, oops, went right into the bat. But then I'll put some supporting beams as well. So it sort of fills in. So he still has the golf tee neck, but he's got some other stuff going on as well. All right, and put a line there, and there, and there, and there. I want to put a cape coming down here, but that Jack doesn't have that, and a super robot probably wouldn't have that, or a mech rather. Although I am drawing him like a super robot, as I said. Super robot being a little bit more whimsical and 70s, 80s style versus a real robot or like a Gundam or something. Oh, color in his mouth. That'll also help him look more like Jack, the black gaping mouth. Okay, and I'll go ahead and put this. No, I don't dig it. I don't dig it. I feel like I have to do something on his head to make it not just Jack's head. I mean, I don't have to, but I want to. Maybe put a circle. No, that makes him look like he's smiling. You know, I said before I'll go into details. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm at 25 now. I'm gonna go in for 12 pixels. Put another layer. I can get rid of that layer underneath. And let me move this over. Airzuki with the OKs. It's amazing. Thank you very much. And some more bits. Some more bits. Okay. Thanks for the bits. All right. So let me think of how I'll do this. I think I'll put a line under the eye as though it's like a manufactured socket more. Okay, that's helpful. And then maybe extend these anger lines up and just give it that. All right, and then bring these in a little bit more too, maybe. Yeah, that's making it look a little bit more constructed, a little bit more artificial. I mean, that's the key, to not do anything too heavy, but just sort of little details will help bring it out. And then maybe just like a couple rivets. Like that. Yeah, I don't think I want to do too much more than that, actually. But what I will do is erase some of the line of the mouth on the one side, because it's a little wonky. how it's touching his eye. Ah, that's better. And then I'll just continue it up with a thinner line. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but perfect for us. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and put these lines in. Boops. 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 Now we're starting to get there. Now it's getting that bat Halloween feel to it. Okay, and then I'll put another line here along these guys for his finger flanges. His flangellas. Flanges. All right, and then I'm mostly just detailing. There's nothing specific I'm going for other than to make it look a little more three-dimensional, a little bit more like plates of metal and stuff. That you wouldn't do this if it was cloth, obviously, or at least not the same way I'm doing it. Samariox, no lie, this is rad as needs color for the glow eyes. Well, thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I might put a hint of color, but it's not going to be full color, I think, is what I'm feeling with this particular character. It does need... Oh, I guess I'll put some more rivets here to match what he had on his face. And then maybe I'll just cut it in like that. So there is actually a plate that's being held on with the rivets. I'm a big fan of the old-fashioned rivets when I'm doing stuff. If I can't think of anything else, it's like, well, no matter how advanced you are, you might need rivets. And that's probably not true, but, you know. Excuse me. Why not? For consistency. Maybe he was made in the 70s. I mean, we heard about Jack Skellington in like the early 90s, but he existed for much longer before that. So maybe this mecha version came out in the 70s. Yeah, I think these rivets are really pulling the whole thing together. Oh, and I'll rate 0. And there. Okay. All right, so two things I'm going to do now. One is just give him one of these since he's sort of has that Japanese super robot flavor. Got to give him so they're the speed line, which I'm a big fan of this anyway, even in American stuff. Just the action line background of like, whoa, look at this. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, then I'll go in with a heavy shadow layer, which I'll do all black. And I'm going to use, let's say 40. Oh man, what is this? Mashadar! Mashadar, yo, 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 have to show that love. And here's a bunch of creepy clowns. That's how I show love, because I'm creepy. Mashadar clown guy. Thank you very much for the creepy clown love, Mashadar. Appreciate you stopping by and throwing that down, letting us know you're here. All right, so this is going to be a light source, so I'm going to do the heavy shadow all away from that. And actually, let me bring this down to 75. I might go even lower, but so I can see what I'm doing, but not be covering up all the detail. I'm going to start with 75 opacity there. I don't know if you're hanging out or not, Mash, but we have a new system for requests. You do the exclamation point, request, space, and it gets put into the queue, so I don't have to scroll through chat and look for it later. You can throw it in now, and it can get picked whenever, and I don't have to worry about finding it. Plus, you get confirmation that it's in the queue automatically. The only downside is you can only put one in at a time because I think it's made for gaming, like for bigger streamers that their followers want to game with them, and so they get put into the queue and whatever, which is why Ox got picked automatically to be next because he was like next in line, but that's not how we do it on this channel. But for that moment, for today, we do. But the point is, you can put a request into Hong Kong. You can put a request into the queue. That is my point. So get on that. And we'll put a little bit on this even. Actually, no, we don't want to put any on that because I want to keep it white. All right, I'm going to take it down to 50 maybe. 25. Yeah, 25, and then I'll do a heavy layer on top of that of 50, but I'll make it smaller. So I'll bring my brush down to 20. And this is for the extra dark shadows. I never watched that. There was two versions of that show. I saw maybe like an episode. It was like a soap opera about like a vampire who was like kind of good. But I did see the Johnny Depp movie, and actually I kind of liked it. It was sort of goofy and fun, but I've heard from people that like the show that they were not a big fan of the movie, so it probably isn't very close to what the show was. There was an old one, I want to say from the 70s, and then there was a also old but newer one, I want to say in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like where they revived it. From what I hear, a lot of the charm of the original one was that it was so bad it was good, kind of, where like they had scripts in the scenes and people would forget their lines because it was like live TV, I guess. Um, but I've never really checked it out. I should give it a chance one day. Why did I bring that up? Oh, because the Dark Shadows. There you go. Dark Shadows. Okay. All right, so now I will throw in a splash of color. Now the main color I'm going to do, of course, is going to be red for Zero's nose. Oops, I put that right over the line. I got to put that under the line. There we go. Red for Zero's nose. And then I'll put a little bit of, I guess, yellow for the Rocket Blast. Rocket Blast, burn it. No, you know what? I don't like that. I think I'm going to go back to red and make a shiny like area around the front of the rocket so it looks like it's glowing and not just painted. There we go. Like that. Let me see. Do I want to put a glow around his eyes? Maybe. Let me go. Actually, I'll go up to the top layer over the lines. Something like that. And then darker as it goes to the outside, maybe. I'm not sure about this. I'm just testing out an idea. Maybe go all white in the middle. Maybe. Maybe. I could go the other way and have like little red beady eyes like the Terminator. Yeah, that makes him look kind of crazy. I don't think I like that. Let's take a sip and think. Samurai Ox says, totally a side tangent, ordering groceries and doing a recipe for chicken crust pizza this week. Are you full vegetarian or just not red meat? Oh no, I'm full vegetarian. I don't eat fish or chicken or anything. I don't eat any muscle. Put it that way. Any fiber on an animal I don't eat. But good for you. I hope it's delicious. Yeah, some people ask me. Oh, there we go. That's it. That's it right there, right? That's totally done. Don't even touch it. Just I think that if I do any more, that's too much. I think maybe I'll add a little bit of shadow for the background, and I should stop. Let's see. Ape Sapien, red dots, slight red glow. That's pretty much what I got there. I could do a little bit more glow, but I think I should. Well, you know what? One thing maybe I could put a little bit of white right in the center of it to make it pop. I feel like the answer is no, but I'm going to try it and just see. Why is that not? Oh, because I put it underneath like a fool. Let's see. No, that works. The little white dot in the middle? Yeah, I think that works. Ox is like, yep. All right, so I'll put a little bit of shadow in the background, and then I'm going to go back to the request list. So if you don't have a request on the list, you have just a little bit more time to throw something on there. And you're allowed to request more than once per show. You just can't have more than one in the queue at the time, is all I was saying before. Why is this not, do I got my layers wrong here? Oh, there it goes, okay. A little bit of shadow, and I'll probably reduce the opacity and cut that in a little bit too. Yeah, I'll do a couple like, yeah, cut the shadow lines with white along where I had drawn the lines earlier. Sometimes I like to do that. Okay. We are in the home stretch of this one, and we got time for a few more. It's 6:24. I normally stop at 7, but I'll probably go to 7:30 today because, like I said, I feel bad I didn't do it last week. So total requests and a little extra time, I think, is appropriate. Bring it to 50. Okay, I'm going to call that done. I'm going to file, save as. That would be Jack1. And then I'll erase his face. And everything else eventually. All right, so let's see. Oh, Ox says, yeah, working on getting healthy has me trying lots of new things. This was wild, and I thought I had to try. Well, oh, wait a minute. So, because I'm like, how's pizza healthy? I mean, I love pizza, don't get me wrong, but so it's chicken. Oh, so it's not like pizza with a little bit of chicken on the crust. That's what I was picturing. You're saying that the crust is made out of chicken, I'm guessing, which I guess is healthier than the fried dough we normally get. Well, like I said, I hope it tastes good, works out for you. All right. Abe Sapiens is sweet. Okay, cool, thanks. All right, so let me look at the queue. Like I said, this is your final time to add something. Let's see, we got Danny wants Kiryu, Abe Sapien wants Gaz's cat versus Mike's cat, and Airzuki says Tiger from Future Man. Well, we already got Wolf from Future Man, so I don't want to do that one. Gaz cat versus Mike's cat. I don't have reference for Mike's cat. I like the idea, but I feel like it's gonna be. I don't know if I could do that real quick. Although Kiryu, I love Godzilla and I love Kiryu. It's not gonna be quick. I guess I'm going with Kiryu. It will not be quick because I'm gonna have to get some reference and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna do Danny's. I'm not saying I won't do yours, Abe, but yeah, I'd have to put a little thought into it and try to get some reference of Mike's cat off of Facebook or something. I don't know what it looks like off the top of my head. Even my cat, I'd probably, well, I have 3 cats, but I guess I could just pick one. Anyway, let me get some reference up for Kiryu. Abe, if you want to change yours, let me know and I could remove it and so you could add another. Otherwise, I could just leave it up there and see what happens. It's up to you. I'm not saying I won't do it, but I probably won't do it. So if you want me to remove it so you have a better chance of something else, that's fine. Let me know. For some reason, I have to remove it. It won't let you remove it. I don't know why. All right, I'm looking up a reference for Kiryu now for Danny. And actually, I've been wanting to do a print of Kiryu's head for a while because I did the first 2 Mechagodzillas, and Kiryu is the 3rd Mechagodzilla. It's pretty involved. But maybe this sketch I do could be the basis. Like maybe I'll finish it up offline and turn it into a print possibly. So this is good homework for me to be doing. All right, I'm just looking for a good. I actually have a Kiryu figure. I think it's in the other room. That would be good reference. Maybe I'll. No, I was gonna say maybe I'll take a break and go grab it, but I'd have to go searching for too long. So let me just find a good. Some of the pictures I'm looking at are here. Actually, I'll show you guys. This is the character we're talking about. This is Kiryu, which is the 3rd Mechagodzilla, and some of the reference photos I'm finding are actually of the figure, which I have, which is funny. All right, I think I might. Yeah, I think I might do this side view that I actually just showed you guys. So let me save. Maybe I'll grab a few others just to be sure. Let's see. Revoke it. Okay, I'm going to revoke yours. Remove. Yes. Ox says Garfield is a mech. I sense a theme. Ox is like everything with a mohawk. All right, everything with a mech. Then in a few weeks, everything with a mohawk mech. A mech mohawk. A mech hawk. All right, so I'm just grabbing a couple other references. I grabbed one, but I want to get a few more just so I don't have to go back to the internet once I get going. Sometimes it's easier to just grab a few even if you don't need them right away and have them for later. Saving image. Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. And there's a good one too. So I got a couple that are toys, a couple that are stills from the movie. Here's one that's, I think, a Matt Frank drawing. All right. One more. I'll get one more and then I'll get going. I'm stalling. This is another thing that normally if I was doing this would take me half the day. I'd spend a half hour doing research. Maybe I'd rewatch the movie, you know, and then like really work at it to, like, if it was going to be a print. So this is going to be interesting to try to do something like this so quickly. All right. All right, I got my reference done. Let me close this, and I will go ahead and open up my reference that I just saved. Let's see. Danny, he's my fave. Yeah, he's pretty good. I go back and forth between him and the first one. As a character, I like him better, but I do really like that old-fashioned design of the first one as well. But I like the. I mean, I have a figure of him, so obviously I like him. Dolly Girl, next week I will request your 3 cats riding a bobsled. Perfect. Danny, next to Mecha King Ghidorah, I also like Mecha King Ghidorah. Jinzo from Yu-Gi-Oh! With buff arms. Jinzo. Oh, you're trying to request? Here, let me remove yours. Actually, there we go. Now you should be able to add Danny. Samarax, he has Abe. He has Abe. What does that mean? Oh, Abe Sapien. Have you ever? Sorry, I read it in the wrong way. Have you ever drew a Warlock from the New Mutants? I have. Yeah, I did it as when I did March of Robots. I had commissions to kind of like this, but more detailed or whatever. But Marshall Lee Complex Marsh Makes Comics Donkey Jaw told me he had me do a Warlock. I probably have it up It's not on my Etsy store or anything. I didn't make a print of it, but it's probably up somewhere on my Facebook. All right, sorry, I'm just opening up my reference that I saved, and I got sidetracked. Doop doop doo doo doo. Where are you? You little Oh, I did it again. I'm looking at work progress instead of. For some reason, I'm saving to videos because I have my Twitch video folder. It doesn't matter, but that's just organization is key, folks, and I'm not great at it. Okay, now I'm actually looking at the reference. All right, I think this is the one I'm going to go for mainly. So let me zoom in on that. So right now, just to be clear, in the art queue, oh, there's a new one. Okay, so I have 3 on deck. One from Arzuki, one from Ox, and one from Danny. There's 3 in there. If you think you have one in there and you're not one of those 3 people, you don't. So put it in. Okay. Excuse me. Abe, got to think of another one. Well, you got time, Abe. Like I said, it's not a matter of who gets it in first. It's not a first come, first serve thing. So you could put it in first and get chosen last. You could put it in last and not get chosen. It's all up in the air. All right, so let me make this bigger. And I'll grab, let's grab sort of a bluish color. And I'm going to start real big. I'm going to start 152 at 25%, which is not what I've done before. Oh, I also want to change, hold on a second. I want to change the canvas size because when I do headshot prints, which I'm not saying this will necessarily be a print, but it's the way I usually do this sort of thing. I do a square, so I'm going to make it 8 by 8 so that if I do decide I want to take this further, I'll be able to. And I feel like the square for monster heads, for some reason, I do 6 by 9 when I'm doing headshots of more humanoids, but for some reason, like monster heads, I find easier to do it square to get them to fit because a lot of them are wide and have like big snouts and stuff, like this guy, for example. So I'm starting very, very loose. I'm just trying to sort of get the shape of where the head's going to be. And I think I'm going to put a cannon. He has a like sort of shoulder cannons he sometimes uses as like an attachment. I think I might put that in here. And then the other one coming up that way. Super, super loose. And he's got a fin. All right, so that's layer 1. Now for layer 2, I'll take that layer, bring it down to 50%, so you can almost not see it. And for layer 2, I was at 152. I'm going to bring it down to 100. I was at 25%. I'll bring it to 50%. So going a little bit tighter. Let's see what was there. Okay. Just make sure I didn't miss anything in chat zone. Let me take a sip real quick. Spare you the gulping and the ah sound I make. All right, I'm going to zoom in on my reference a little bit more. That's better. Okay. So he's got, I want to go into the details, but I should stick to the big shapes. So he's got kind of a plate where his like ear would be in a circle, and then kind of a dome part here, and then a fin that goes up, and then these come in, and the dome and the fin and everything, and then there's sort of eyes. You could really see the one on this side, but you wouldn't be able to see the one on the other side. And then this comes down to part of the jaw. Sorry for just basically talking through the construction, but it's like I'm trying to think of how it works as I'm doing it because I've never drawn this character before. It's funny because like I've drawn a lot of Power Rangers, a lot of Godzilla, a lot of whatever, but there's so many that I just haven't drawn them all, even ones I like. Like this is one of my more favorite characters, and I have never really drawn it. I mean, maybe I doodled it once, but not even to the level I'm going to be doing today. All right, and then that goes down there because the bottom jaw is like a whole nother piece, which it isn't, again, in us as human robots, but it's all covered by sinew and flesh and skin and stuff, whereas with him, there's a lot of similarities between, like I said, bones and robots, because robots just often don't have their metal bones covered up the way we do to be aesthetically pleasing, or if they do, it's with like some sheets of metal as opposed to something more flexible like our fleshy exterior. All right, and the nose kind of goes like that, and then the cannon is not, it's like sort of on his shoulder, so he has a big thick neck like Godzilla does, because again, he's essentially Mecha Godzilla. This is the third Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla. Oh wait, I missed something here. Oh my gosh, Greg Scott Bailey with like 1 million bits. Thank you so much. It's like 1, 2, 7 million. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. And Abe Cabrioletto from Battle Chasers. I think that's your request, but you should make it official if you want to get it on the list there, buddy. Just do the little. You did it before. You know how to do it. Or are you asking? Battle Chasers is a comic that Joe Madeira does, I think. If it's not that, I don't know what it is. If it is that, I know what it is, but I've never read it, so I have to look up some reference, which wouldn't be the first time. A lot of the stuff I do on this show is looking up reference for stuff, which is not a bad thing. It gets me to draw things that I maybe wouldn't normally draw. It gets me out of my comfort zone, and that's always good as an artist. Stretch yourself a little bit. All right, so he's got sort of a triangular shape here, several going down with alternating black and silver. We won't see it too much, but a hint of it at least. And then this piece coming up from that. And then behind his neck is more of the piece of the, I don't know, the power up, whatever you want to call it. Battleizer would be the word in Power Rangers. It is kind of like a battleizer, actually, now that I think about it. Or I guess it's artillery. All right, so I'll move this line across here so that, so that the cannons match up. It's funny, I'm doing extra time today, but I feel like because of the complexity of the last two requests, I probably still only get like 4 done. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take that first one and bring it down to 25. This layer we're going to bring down to 50. Make a new layer. Going to go with a darker blue. We're going to take it from 100 down to 60, and we're going to take opacity from 50 to 75, and we'll start to get a little bit more zeroed in on the shape. Let's see, do we have a, oh, yep, there it is. There's your official request. Mr. Sapien, Abe Sapien, Calibretto, like calibration, calibretto, like a caliber bullet, calibretto. I think that's how you say it. But again, I'm not sure if I'm even thinking of the correct Battle Chasers. All right, so let's see. We got, now I'm going to go in, hit the eye shape a little bit more from the inside, like so. And then cut that, and then there's sort of a curve to the fin, and it comes out that way, but then it goes straight like this, and then up into it. Okay. And then the other eye socket on this side. And then there's a plate that connects the eye, goes all the way back, kind of turns into a fin here, and then there's like a tiered plate coming up off of it, something like this. I don't want to get too into it because I'll do another pass after this. I'm just trying to get the indication of the major shapes, and then all the stuff on the other side of the face we don't see as much. And the eye definitely has like an evil look to it. Maybe not evil, but serious, intense. And then this should have bumped up a little bit more, like that. Okay, nothing new in chat, just double checking. I'll bring this forward, and then his nose, which is great when a robot has a nose, because why? Because awesome, that's why. And then this comes down into a sort of slight triangular shape there. And then he's got a little bit of a nostril sort of indication. All right, so then coming down the side, it's got two major planes. Well, you know what? Let me approach it from a different way. Let me draw the front first. And then this flares out around his muzzle area. And then it has one, and it dips in, and it has two. And then those should extend design-wise back here, but then this has 1, 2, and then they cut in like that. And then this goes back to about here and has the same line pattern following. There we am. Okay. And let's see. Abe Sapien says, I don't know how to say his name either. All right. Well, yeah, sometimes when you only read something, does he use like guns with big caliber bullets or something? Then maybe it is calibretto, like bayonetta, calibretto. All right, and then this is a separate piece that comes up to here and arcs back kind of like so. And then there's another little antenna piece. Let me see what time it is. 6:40. Okay, we're good. We're good on time. And that arcs back like so, and then has a connector in there. And then this has another little antenna coming out of that, like a smaller antenna coming out of the bigger antenna. And then this goes down There's a plate. And the circle is almost where a human ear would be. It's sort of like here. Which is interesting. Well, I guess the antennas are like the ears for the robot beast that we're looking at. All right, and then we'll bring this forward, in, up, like that. Okay. Oh, I should probably draw the other side of his face, huh? Okay, so got a piece here and there and descending, and then you don't see as much of the muzzle on this side. Okay. I still feel like I'm not doing the eyes justice. Let me change the opacity on my eraser and bring. I'm just gonna erase all this. I think I might need to exaggerate a little bit from what I'm actually looking at it to give it the personality I feel like it's supposed to have. To bring it down. That's better. A little bit more. Again, not evil, but sinister, maybe. Okay. Tuck that in. All right, that's looking better. I do think that the nose, the plane of the nose starts a little higher than I had it. Like maybe here. Okay. All right. So what's next? The bottom, well, before I get into the bottom of the jaw, there's another piece here. That's the thing with organics, like if I'm drawing like a Godzilla, like there's certainly distinct details and things that you have to get right to make it look like the monster. But if like a couple little things are off, it's like it's not as noticeable because it's like, oh well, it's flesh, it's a scale, it's a vein, it's a whatever. But if you don't have the pieces fitting together right on a mechanical being, whether or not someone knows the character and knows where each plate specifically goes, it's just like, oh, that looks weird. It's not connected to anything or whatever. So case in point, if I just start drawing the jaw, there's a piece here that is like on the side of the jaw under this like ear port that it'll look weird if it's not there because it'll be just missing something. You might not know what it is. It might, you might have never seen the character, but it'll just look off. Whereas if there's an organic character, I could throw in some shadow or some texture and it's like, oh, well, it's, that's probably fine. Nobody would know. Okay. So there's that piece. And then the jaw comes down here. And I think I made it a little bit too wide before. That's better. Thin it out a bit. And then on the front, these two pieces come down almost like upside down fangs. Like that. Okay, and then he's got, teeth, fangs, I should say. And looks like he's like got 2 or 3 in the front, and then he's got a bunch on the side. So what I'll do is I'll draw the front ones first, like so. And then he's got like 6, 8, maybe 8 showing. So I'm not going to bother counting precisely, but that'll kind of inform roughly how big I want to make these. And I'm probably not getting as many as he actually has, but again, that's fine. If I didn't say he had 8, you probably wouldn't know it. And then darken that up for the bottom. Okay, that's all right. I think I'm a little too dark on that. Clean that out a little bit. Okay. All right, it's starting to look like a character at least. Okay, and then this piece goes back here, which I didn't have before. And then another piece goes under that. And then there's a bunch of small details coming off the back of here. Like, again, like I don't know if it's part of a radio array or if it's some sort of cooling system or just to look cool. Maybe it's a cooling system because it looks cool. And then some more over there. Okay. So now let me look at the big cannon. And it's got sort of a square shape, but it's tilted in that way, which I didn't do when I drew it the first time. And there's a bunch of stuff in there, like kind of these sort of texturized things, and a bunch of mechanical pieces, but it's very dark, so I'm going to just put an indication and not get too worried about it. And then this goes back and in. It's got sort of a gray tip and then blue behind it. And then I'm going to, again, come over here to make sure they're lined up and do the same thing, have this tuck in. So it's at an angle in, right. Other than me and Danny, has anybody seen this character before? I mean, you may have seen some Godzilla movies, but maybe not the one. I think he was in 2 movies from the Heisei era. Or actually, no, it wasn't the Heisei era. It was the Millennium era, which means like the 2000s. The Heisei era was the 90s, and that was the one Mechagodzilla design I didn't really like. He looked kind of weird. Like, I don't know. Like, a lot of people see the original one had a pot belly, but I think the Heisei one is the one that had the weird pot belly. And I like Heisei, the Heisei movies in general, but I know that Mechagodzilla is my least favorite of the three. And I mean, it's still a robot Godzilla. I mean, it's, you know. Ox says, I like this. Oh, Abe, you have seen it. I like this character very much. Never seen him. Abe Sapien looks about right. Okay, cool. Okay, now I need the piece coming up. Yeah, like I said, the problem with it is I'm spending so much time just figuring out where the plates go. Like you can see, it's not a very finished looking drawing. I'd like to give it a few more passes and really get it there, but at the same time, I don't want to spend the whole rest of the show just working on one drawing. So I'm gonna finish this pass and see where we're at time-wise, if it makes sense to keep going or if I should just move on to another request. Okay. Yeah, he was well, spoilers if you care, but what's cool about him is the humans built him on the bones of the original Godzilla. So like there's the original Godzilla was from 54. That was the original Godzilla movie, and some Godzilla movies have a continuity with each other, some don't, but a lot of them acknowledge that the first Godzilla existed even if they don't acknowledge everything that came after it. That was true of the most recent movie, Shin Godzilla. I think acknowledged the first one only. But so this movie was like, oh, there's this newer Godzilla. How are we going to beat him? We need our own Godzilla. And for some reason, it made sense to build a robot on the bones of the original because there was some sort of radiation magic spark in it that like it wasn't even like a zombie. It was literally bones. But it made I don't know. It's so dumb that it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't fake science it enough to make it make sense, but I didn't care. I was like, that's an awesome idea. Great, do it. I don't, why? Who cares? I love it. All right, now let me take this down to 10%. Take this down to 25%. Let's see where we're at. All right, not too shabby. Let me take a sip. Let's see. We see. Apes Samurai Ox strap missiles on Mecha, and I'm good to go. Samurai Ox, that's awesome. Thank you. Oh, not thank you. Well, thank you, but you're saying it's awesome about the bones. Yeah. Danny's saying Ghost Godzilla versus the new Godzilla. That's another way to put it. Yeah. That's very cool. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. It's 6:45. I'm not going to do another pass on this. I'll put a little bit of shading on it just so it looks a little more finished. I might finish this up in my own time, and if I do, I'll put it on Instagram or my various social media. So if you only follow me on Twitch, I am on, Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else. And so when I finish these, I post them up on those places. And if I haven't yet, but if I take one to further completion, which I might with this one, then I would eventually post it up on there as well, if you're interested. That would be the way to see it. Okay, let's put some heavy shadow on one plane of the face. That's going to help. And I'll put a little bit of, I think I'll put like a color highlight of like fire or something on the one side as well. Yeah, so the lines are very sloppy. Needs a pencil. Needs at least two more, passes to tighten it up and then get the ink kind of lines well done. Let me see if I bring that down to 50. All right, and then I'll go with a heavy shadow again. But not too shabby for doing it on the fly. Like I said, normally a drawing like this to get to completion would be 4 hours for me. So the fact that I got it as far as I did in like whatever this has been, 20 minutes, I'm pushing myself, stretching myself. One of my biggest complaints is that I'm too slow. So, one of the things the show helps with is getting me faster, whether I like it or not. And I do like it, so it's okay. Oh, you know what? I should have put a shadow on this side of the fin. I forgot. All right, some heavy highlights, or shadows rather. I'll bring that down to 50. All right, and then I'm going to take, let's say, well, you know what? I'll do white first to just do some highlights on top of everything, like the eye specifically, give it a little glow to it. And this up here. And then I'll go back in with a color highlight as well. But this is just to pop out some of the stuff that isn't so clear because of the way I shaded and colored it and the lines and stuff. All right, that works. And now I'll put a little bit of yellow for his eyes. I'm doing way less. Usually I do a lot more color. Well, I guess it's subject matter because usually I get a lot more cartoony kind of stuff. And while arguably Jack Skellington is kind of cartoony, not in the same way. I mean, he's a three-dimensional model that was used. Let me check the chat real quick. Samurai Ox, follow him, everyone, or else. Everywhere as well. Thank you. Erzuki, you streaming tonight? I don't know if she's streaming tonight. I think she's not. Um, Also, I'm already anticipating the full body print of this too. Well, not to say I wouldn't do a full body print, but if I took this to completion, it would just be a headshot because I do have a series of Godzilla headshots, and I have the first two Mecha Godzillas as headshots. So I think people that got those would be annoyed if I'm like headshot, headshot, full body because they wouldn't match. So certainly might do a full body eventually, but this would be a headshot first, if anything. All right, so let me put a little bit of white in there too, and I think I want to put, like I said, well, you know what? I'll put darkness behind everything first. Just black. Bloop. Oh, where'd it go? Nope, that's white. Black. Okay. And then I'll bring that to 50. And then I'll go in with some white. Come on, you. Some almost white, I should say. For him, like this. Maybe it's a night mission. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to color the whole thing in with a little bit of white light to pop him out, because otherwise he's not standing out enough. But I'll do it a little bit heavier on one side. And then lastly, what I will do is put some color, like a reddish orange, like there's an explosion over there, let's say. Stay hydrated, bot. All right, stay hydrated, bot. I'll take a sip. Ox, hello, darkness, my old friend. I need to make this bigger. And the opacity more like 50%. Excuse me. Nope, 50. I put 5. Put a little tint on here. And then bring all this down to 50. Then I'll put a little red as well. And bring that down, oops, bring that down to 50. And maybe a little bit of yellow just to top it off. Yellow, orange. I could spend forever working on explosion colors and details and stuff too, so I don't want to get too crazy in there. But I will also put some really fine, oh, let me bring this down to 75, let's say. And I'll do some really fine yellow highlights using the same color, but on top, like so. And I'll probably lower the opacity on this a little bit as well. But you get these super sharp lines since it's mechanical as opposed to organic. I mean, you can get them on organic too, but you notice it a lot more on mechanical stuff. All right, so I'll bring that down to 75. And while I would certainly be happy to work on this for 1,000,000 hours more, I'm going to put in just a little bit of dark, and then I'm going to call it done and move on to the next request. So as I've said before, if you're here and you don't have a request, that's fine. But if you want a request, throw it in the pile using the exclamation request command, and I will look at it in a second, see what we have, and choose something from there. This I'm going to bring all the way down to 25. There we go. All right, so is it done forever? I don't know. Is it done for right now? Yes. So let me save, and we'll call that Kiryu. Done. And I'll erase all of the face. Oops. And all that face. Yush. And we're just before 7, but like I said, we're going to go late today, so that's fine. Let's see. Samurai Ox, when are the pre-orders going live for that headshot? I don't have any pre-orders ready to go just yet. Let's see what we got on the list. Okay, so we got 4 requests on the list. If you are not Erzuki, Samurai Ox, Danny, or Abe Sapien, and you think you have a request, you do not, so add it now if you want to. So we got Tiger from Future Man from Erzuki. We got Garfield as a mech from Ox. We got Jinzo from Yu-Gi-Oh! With buff arms from Danny. And we got Calibretto from Abe Sapien. Well, everybody else already got one except for Abe. But I'm not saying I'm choosing him. What I'm going to do is look online to see what Calibretto even looks like, because I have no idea. So we'll see how involved this is. Calibretto, if that is indeed tasting. Calibretto 13? Nope, that's something different. Oop, why is this? Oh, it opened on Amazon. Okay. Calibretto Battle Chasers. Sometimes you got to add those extra words. Chasers. Okay, Calibretto Battle Chasers. Images. All right, so this is the guy you're talking about. He's kind of a big blue armored mechy looking guy. Is this from a game? I thought it was a comic, but it looks like CGI art. Well, let me see. Wait for the chat to see if this is. If Abe, I'll probably do this guy if this is the right guy because he's interesting looking. Is Abe you still here? He might not be here. He might be lurking. Let me check the chat real quick. Doop doop doo doo doo. Console. It says he's still here, but he might not be paying attention right at this moment. I'll give it a second because I don't want to be doing the wrong the wrong character that was requested. Oh, there he is. Look at Joe Mad Calibretto. Wait, so this is not might be better than the game. Okay, so this is the right character, and it's from a comic that they also made a game of, and I might be looking at game art, is what you're saying. Okay, so I understand you right. So let me see. Joe Mad. I'll add that. More Google search terms. Still looks very 3D. Is it like a digital painting or whatever? Well, I mean, this is the right character, so that's good enough. I mean, I'm not going to be drawing it like Joe Mad Area does anyway. What I don't get to, you might, sometimes people do, but I'm just saying, if there's only 4 requests and one of them is from someone that hasn't gotten any, it does seem a little on the fair side, but it was dependent on this being a character that I didn't mind doing, but I don't think I mind doing this character. All right, I'm officially doing Abe's. I might have time for another one. Okay, Abe, you are cleared, so you could add another one if you like. I might do another one, but I'm not sure. So let's see. Joe Mater Alerts Battle Chasers. Let me save. I'm saving my reference as we speak. A lot of intricate ones. I hope to do another one after this, but I can't guarantee it because this is very intricate. And yeah, there's a lot of different versions. Okay, this one's a little simpler. I mean, they all have the designs and stuff, but some are more heavily rendered with color and stuff than others. This one's a better reference, I think. And also, I think there's like fan art that other people have done and stuff, so because I'm not familiar with the character. This happens sometimes where because I'm not familiar with the character, I don't know exactly which is the best one. But I did put in Joe Mad Area, so hopefully the ones I'm looking at are his or not too far from his. Any that look too far different from the others, I'm ignoring those and trying to stick with the ones that look all similar. Oxyshi said something. Give me a second. I gotta pull up my reference. I can't see it right now. I imagine he said something like, that seems fair, and I appreciate you doing things the way you do, and I'm a very calm person. Something like that, right? All right. Getting my reference up. Doop doop doo to scoo doop doop. All right, there he is. Close that up. And then, let's see. Ox says, rigged, lol. And Danny F9 agrees. Cool. All right, so let me go ahead and do Calibretto from Battle Chasers. Calibretto. I'm going to keep the square format since he's such a wide dude. I think that might help. Let's see. Do I want to do a full body or maybe I'll go for a full body, but just not get super detailed with it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay. Let me take another sip real quick. Sorry. Hydration. It's lovely. All right, so let me grab a soft round pressure brush. I'm going to start kind of the same as I did on the other one. I'm going to go real wide, but I'm not going to... There's not as much detail since I'm doing a further away shot. He's got kind of crazy cartoony proportions. You know what this is? I'm doing this too big to fit on the page. Oops, that's not what I want. Why is that? What happened here? Switched my brush somehow. Okay. The other thing that happens is when I'm doing characters like this that I've never even seen before and I don't know anything about, I'm heavily relying on the reference, not just for what the character looks like, but for the pose and everything. So like, it's weird because like typically when I'm doing a character, I want to like put my own spin on it or like put them in making a joke or doing a action pose they've done or a fight, like something. I'm bringing something to it. And a lot of times when I do these, you know, and this happens when I do commissions at shows and stuff too, it's like, okay, cool, this is like your favorite character, you want to see my version of it, but it's almost like if I have to do it real quick, it's not my version of it. It's my version of their version. It's sort of like, and I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. Again, this is all good for me artistically. I'm just thinking how a better product could be achieved if I had more time to study, I guess what I'm saying. But what I feel like I'm doing a lot is an impression of an impression. And what I mean by that is if you think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a lot of people do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. He's kind of an easy guy to impersonate. But then there are other people like that you see somebody do an impression of him on Saturday Night Live, and the way the person figures out the impression, everybody starts doing it. Like when Dana Carvey used to do George Bush, he's like, "Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture." I'm not imitating George Bush. I'm imitating Dana Carvey imitating George Bush. I wouldn't have thought to do the things he did. He kind of cracked the code and figured it out. And so, while if you know who George Bush is, you could recognize that I'm doing George Bush, it's Dana Carvey's version. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm doing a version of this character, and you'll be able to recognize it, but it's not my version, really. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing. But again, it's I don't know how to I don't know how to change that other than being like, okay, let me draw him, you know, 2 or 3 times, and then I'll do my version. You guys all wait. I guess maybe I could have some sort of super thing, like maybe like, oh, if you're a subscriber once a month, I'll do a special thing where you get a request, and I spend the whole 2 hours just doing that character and like, you know, really diving into it or something. But for this kind of thing, yeah, I don't think it would work as well to do that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing my brain as we go. I'm gonna make that smaller again so I can fit his legs in. Let me check the chat as I'm talking and drawing. I'm missing out. Samariak says, "Is the drawing super blurry for anyone else?" No, it is blurry. It's not your monitor. I don't know if you're being funny, but I'm doing that on purpose. It's I'm doing 25% opacity with a soft brush because I'm doing a couple passes to kind of get it where I want it. So it's not you. It'll get better on the next pass. See how it got blurrier just now? Yeah. Oh wow, it looks even blurrier on the transmission screen. So I'm going to take it down to 48, and I'll bring the opacity up to 50. And so I'm probably going to do this, and then I'll do one more pass after this. Actually, opacity up to 75. Not 57, 75. He's got these things. He's got kind of a night grill in the front, like 1, 2, 3, and then a little. He's kind of like if you ever saw Full Metal Alchemist, there's Edward Alphonse, who's like a kid whose consciousness is in a suit of armor. He's kind of like if that kid grew up, like you know what I mean? Like he can't grow up as a suit of armor, but like if he somehow he was able to, is like this is what he would turn into when he hit like 25 or something. He's got some weird gombles over there, and some designy stuff there. And yes, it is still somewhat blurry. Excuse me. The drums are too blurry. I get your outer monologue, says Abe. Ox, no, I was just making sure it was intentional. Yes. You know, with my bad eyes already. No, it's intentional. I'm sorry if I'm causing you to question your already bad eyesight. Yes, his shoulders are huge. And then he's got little design things in here that I'm not going to get too crazy about. I'm going to indicate them, but not actually worry about them exactly. And then he's got his fistos. Does he have 5 fingers? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he actually has 5 fingers. That's surprising. I thought with a big cartoony guy like that, he'd have 4, but he's got all 5. Not like Jack Skellington. All right, and then he's got a wristband gauntlet thing that's even bigger than his fist, and then a shield over the whole shadoodle. All right, and then this kind of crimps up. And these jimmers. I know the names for everything. Jimmers and crisps and you name it, I name it. Okay, and then this goes up. And then 1, 2. This is kind of the same shape as Mechagodzilla's neck, kind of going down, like this piece right here. All right, I'm going to let these hands cover up some of the detail of the other parts. Why not? Give them more of a battle pose, but also save me some work later on. Oh, and these have like rivets in them. I was just talking about rivets and how much they're good for frogs that need to rivet. What? No. Okay, and then this part, and then he's got little, yeah, he definitely doesn't make sense. He's got the little teeny arms like that big in between his gauntlets and stuff. Those would definitely snap. This is some sort of magic future world. And got that, and then this comes down, but we won't see all of it. We'll just see a piece of it. And then he's got kind of armor boots with spikers on the bottom. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, actually that's too much, too high up. I think I made his legs too small. So I'm going to grab all of these layers, shrink them down a little bit, bring it up. There we go. Because I think I'm going to need more room. He's kind of squat, but I think down here would be a little bit better. And after I do this pass, I'm going to do one more, and I think I'm going to use like a really dark black and kind of use this underlayer as part of the drawing, not just as a rough, but to kind of be the shadow and detail. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Because again, I'm realizing I can't keep doing like 15 passes. I guess that's the thing. The more detailed and intricate a character is, the less finished the art you're going to get of them. I guess is the unofficial policy I just now adopted, because otherwise, you know, I get, you know, Pikachu, I could have it done in 5 minutes and it looks like, you know, pretty finished. But this guy takes so long to get him to look the way he's supposed to look. I really might look into that other, you know, option of not instead of this show. I would keep this show going, but maybe adding something else, like some kind of subscriber only thing where you get to pick something and I really draw it. Maybe do like a print that I could send you, or I don't know, something to make it worthwhile. Because I think it'd be fun, but I just can't devote the time in this one. But the more I think about it, it might be interesting. Maybe I'll do it on a trial basis and see how it goes. Okay. Because it is funny, because like people that like my art, often one of the comments I get the most is, "Oh, your art's so detailed," which is true. I do a lot of detailed art, and I like doing a lot of detailed art, but it just takes a while. So it would be cool if I could offer that detailed art in a different format. All right, so I'm gonna leave that 100% opacity, and I'll do one more layer on top. I'm gonna bring it down to complete black. Bring it to, say, 25 pixels. Bring it to 90% opacity. Let me check the chat real quick, see if I missed anything. Nope, I did not miss anything. So that's good goes. Let me zoom in on his face a little bit. Oh, I got it completely wrong. There's a lot more detail there. Okay, I'm not going to get too crazy with all the specific details, but the face is the window of the soul. Actually, let me see something here. Image size, 300. Yeah, okay. Make sure I got the right brush on. Oh, okay. Hard round. I did still have soft, so I probably should have switched before this one, but que sera, sera. Go down to 20. So he's sort of got like a helmet. I don't know what like I thought he might have been a human, but he's not. He's some kind of glowing eye thing underneath here. And then this comes up like that. So he's got kind of like an armor face mask underneath, like an armor collar within an armored grill faceplate. He's like, don't touch my face. I really don't like it. Now, the rest of this, I don't care. But my face, no. He's not even interested in going to battle. He just really worries about his face. It's the moneymaker, you know? But he never shows anyone. So it's like, if no one can see your face, then how is it making you money? You don't worry about my face. My face worries about money. What? You don't? Shush your shushers. Okay. And he's also kind of got glowing eyes in there. There's some similarities in Kiryu in this guy. All right, let me zoom back out. I think I was getting a little too close there. Yeah. All right. Let me zoom all the way out. Otherwise, this is going to take forever. We are at 7:09, so I want to try to wrap this up and maybe see if I can get a quick one after this. Doop. Okay. All right, here we go with the gauntlet. Let's see. Oh, the Guaca. Love the shell. Thanks so much, Guaca. Thanks for stopping in and give me a little purple heart of love. I'm probably going to do one more request after this. If you want to throw a request command onto the pile, feel free. There's not a ton in there right now, so you got a good chance of getting chosen. And this is a character from Battle Chasers that was requested, which I don't know anything about, and I'm drawing for the first time. And I'm drawing a very simplified version, too, as to what would normally be done by me or Joe Mad Area, who created it. Not that I'm putting myself in the same category as Joe Mad, but this does not represent his work or mine. Well, I mean, it is my work, so it does represent, but you know what I'm saying. A finished piece of art, it does not represent. Let's see. Shush your shushers. Ox says, shush your shushers. Request Freebird. I see your request. If you want to get it on the list, you got to do a exclamation point request space Freebird. Doesn't mean I won't look at it, but it just makes it stay permanently. But also, who is Freebird? Does not represent my style. That's an accurate way of putting it. Thank you, Guaka. I don't know who Freebird is off the top of my head. Is that a Marvel character? Or is that Thunderbird's like son? Or I'm not sure who that is. So yeah, if you could tell me a little bit more about who Freebird is, I would appreciate it. It would help aid in my decision-making process. Or if you have a link to an image, that helps too. Although I could do that myself, but Freebird. Or is Freebird some really popular character that I'm just like blanking on that I'm gonna go, oh yeah, obviously Freebird. Because right now, where I live, there's a burrito place called Freebird's, and I haven't had dinner yet. So I'm like, you want me to draw a burrito? Maybe you do. Maybe that's exactly what you meant, but I doubt it. The Guaca. It's a song. Oh, it's a song. Yes, I get it. It's essentially a bad joke. Yes, unfortunately, I actually do know exactly what you're talking about, but I wasn't in that headspace. Because I do get people that request stuff that I haven't heard of all the time. So I'm like, well, Freebird's a thing, I guess. But yeah, Freebird, that's funny. Now that I get it, it's funny. You just have to give me extra time to get your jokes. And then I still might not get them. You still might have to explain them to me. But that's my failing, not yours. I got to adjust my eraser to be 100% opacity. There we go. Boy, my Cintiq is getting hot. It gets warm over time. And if I leave my hand there too long, it won't burn me or anything, but I definitely feel it. All right, so we get up here, and he's got these, again, I don't know what this is, some kind of backpack flopper, but we'll just jam it in there. And this is a character that I probably would like to throw a little color on, but for time's sake, I might not. We'll see how it goes. It's going a little quicker than I thought it was, but still, it's a slow bow. Probably like this character. I imagine this character moves slowly, although, who knows? Who can say for sure? Excuse me. Let's see. Also, I did mean burrito. Ape Sapien laughs. Ox is putting a request in, but he already had a request in, so it failed. Burrito fighting a real cheese. The best joke's the ones you have to explain. True. Isn't that a song name? Yes, Dolly Girl. That is exactly what it is. I just didn't get it. Danny says, what do you call a fish with no eyes? I don't know. Guaca said, request Rule 34 version. Okay. You people, you're getting me crazy. Fish. Oh, what do you call a fish with no eyes? Fish. It doesn't work to those watching it. It's a text. Look at the text. You'll get the joke. The Guaca is angry because he claims to know that joke, but didn't have time to answer it. But you know what? He could just be saying that now. We'll never know if he really knew it. Okay, let me get in here. Ooh, sliding around quick now. And again, I'll kind of fake these designs. They're not exactly what they should be, but that's okay. And get this pauldron pad, whatever you want to call it. His little twiggy arms. See those little tiny little joints? Not the joints, but the lines between the joints, I guess I should say. They don't make sense. They just don't make sense. Okay, there's some designers up there. And then we're going to bring this up in here. Does he have a point? No, it goes up. Point goes up. Like Sizzo. Okay. Oh, and there's a circle there I missed. Okay. Oh, I'm accidentally covering this up. Glock, I knew that. Say it like that. It works. Yeah, that kind of works. All right. Put the rest of this bad jammer on here. I'm doing on time. 7:15. We're okay. I might go a little over 7:30. That's okay if I do. I would do basically what I'm saying is I'll finish this and do one more request, and whatever time it is when that's done, that's when I'm done. Okay, put his little thumbo there, and then this plate comes down, and it's got a piece that goes up. Yeah, it's deceptively simple because there's a lot of big shapes, but there's a lot of detail and like design work on all the different plates and stuff. So I'm kind of, again, trying to indicate that, but not get too bogged down in how much there's actually there, because it would be a phenomenal amount of time to get it correct. Fully correct, I should say. And you want to be fully correct sometimes, but not always. Okay, put some black in there. I think that'll help just fill in the gaps. Yeah, a little bit of black here too as well. Here too as well. Way to be succinct. Here too as well. Here too far. And then these are kind of like gems of some sort, so I'll kind of give it a shine. Let me see. Abe Sapien, very cool, guys. Thank you. Mr. KT Man. Hey, Gazbot. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling good. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. KT Man. I hope you're doing good as well. And the Guaca says no, but I don't know why he's saying no. And then Dolly Girl says, I agree. Are we all talking about fish still? Like, all right. Mr. KT Man, I am taking one more request before I end the show. If you want to put a request in, you do exclamation point, request, a space, and then whatever character you would want, and it goes into the queue. I got a few in there already. When I finish this, I'm going to do one more for tonight. So if you want to throw one in, feel free. It's not first come, first serve. It's just whichever one I happen to pick. So you got an equal chance as everybody else. Guaca, because 7:30 end time. Well, 7:30-ish, you know. Oh, you're upset. Well, I appreciate the love, but like I said, I'll probably end up going a little over. Overdrive 00 is now following. Thank you very much, Overdrive. I like your name. It makes me think of like a Sentai hero or a Kamen Rider. What's going on? We're being attacked. The Earth is invaded. We need Overdrive 00. Henshin! All right, I went on a tangent there. But anyway, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. And again, if you want to throw a request in, anybody, there's still time for one more today. And if not, then I'll be back next week to do more of the same. Let's see what we got here. Guaca's trying to put in a different request, but you already have a request in, Guaca. You can only have one per time. Do you want me to cancel? What do you got? Yeah, I'm going to cancel your one because I'm not going to do that. So go ahead and try it again. Oh, what's happening now? Mr. KT Man. Oh, thanks for the host, Mr. KT Man. I appreciate it. Have I seen... Oh, what did you say? I missed it. Sorry. What do you call... Nope. Oh, man, I'm falling behind on chat here. Sorry. Have you seen... Yes, Mr. KT Man, I have seen some of your drawings. I don't know if it was on Instagram or Discord, but I have seen some. Very cool. What do you call who's had a bad day? What do you want me... What do you want me to... Oh, you're taking requests from me, KT Man? How about Ultraman? I'm a big Ultraman fan, if you know who that is. If not, a Power Ranger, any of your choice. Wait, Danny's answering the question. What do you call who's had a bad day? A furball a day. I'm not getting that. I missed something there. I missed something in the chat. Okay. And Abe. Oh, here. Actually, sorry, Abe. Let me clear that for you because you're going right now. Oops, I just made a mistake. What did I do there? There you go. Now, Abe, you should be able to put another one in. Yeah, thank you for the host, everybody. The Rule 31 then. 34 one then. I already cleared it, so. Oh, thanks, Sally. Agreeing with you being, wait, me or Danny? I don't know. Everybody's art. Everybody's good. Everybody's happy. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the chat. From the Dark Crystal. Oh, Gartham from the Dark Crystal. That's cool. Sounds great. Mr. KT Man, sounds great. I will Gazbot because you're awesome. Okay. Oh, well, thanks. You don't have to do that, but that's really awesome. Oh, a cat's bad day. Now I get it. Now I get it, Danny. Thank you. I think I think maybe cat wasn't in the setup by mistake. That's all right. We get it now. Okay. Let me see here. So I finish up these boots. Whoops, I did that wrong. Get some boot scooting boogies in here. Now I'm thinking, I'm going back to burritos. Like, what am I gonna have for dinner? I was gonna make something like pasta or soup or something, but I don't know, burritos sound good too. Freebird's really far from where I live though, so I won't be doing that today. All right, let me turn off these layers. Maybe I'll turn off all the layers. Yeah, you know what? I was gonna leave the other layers on for like texture, but I think I'm gonna take them off, and then I'll just hit it with a quick splash of detail lines, 20, just real quick, which again isn't gonna be perfect, but just to give it, because it looks a little too plain right now, so I'm just gonna go in, and then maybe I'll go in with a quick splash of shadow as well. So let me check the, oh, it's supposed to be, what do you call a cat? Yeah, okay, there you go. Thank you, Dolly. Stay hydrated, but still telling me. Okay, so let's see. So we got Mecha Garfield. What? Why is Calibretto coming up? I thought that's the one that I cleared. Oh, I have it. Hold on a second. Let me. I think I messed something up here. Let me. Well, I somehow cleared all the requests. I remember a few of them. I did something wrong. Again, this is a new system for me. So if you haven't put a request in, feel free. If you have but want to change it or reiterate it, also feel free. Because I don't know. Everybody right now, everybody could put a request in. So feel free. That's what I'm saying. You could change it or you could double down on the one you had put in previously, whatever you like. And I'll be done with this very shortly. Put a little, yeah, somebody's just putting the lines, and I'm mainly putting it around like the designy rune kind of marks, which makes it look a little more hand-worked, and leaving the other stuff mostly alone to make it look more like it was machined to be more precise. And put a couple shine lines there like that. It's funny because it's still kind of sloppy and missing details, but you put these lines in, it just kind of pulls it all together, makes it look more intentional sometimes. All right, I'll put some shadow in, and then we're going to call this one done. Go ahead and 50. Let me check chat again. You guys are being very chatty. I love it. Mr. KT Man, Gazbot, I draw my original characters from my mind when I think of them transporting them. Yeah, I mean that's perfectly explained. Transporting them from your mind to paper, that's art right there. I mean, well, not everybody uses paper, but I agree. I do I do original characters of my own as well, although usually on this show I'm not doing my own characters because the whole point is for people to ask me to do something, and usually they're picking their favorite character or they want to see, you know, my take on a character or whatever, or they come up with a silly situation. So this is it's a little bit of boot camp, a little bit of not boot camp, like an intense workout. It's like this is my PDX or PXD. I don't work out, can you tell? But you know what I mean? Those ones that were like, we're gonna do muscle confusion and blah blah blah. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. He's like, switch styles, now do this, quickly do this, draw a character you've never heard of, look at reference, keep talking. Like, so it's certainly more it's certainly easier to just sit and draw what I want when I want, and I do that often. But I feel like by doing this, A, I think people have fun with this format, and B, when I go to draw my own stuff, it's so much easier having done this, you know. Let's see. 25. We'll go 50 maybe. Yeah, I kind of like him with the heavier shadow. So I'll do that, and I'll do one more layer with even heavier shadow underneath that. But I'll keep it at 30 pixels, like that and like that. This is a type of character I think the color would help it with like the blue and stuff, but again, for time, I can't right now, unfortunately. I guess that's one advantage too. If you're at the beginning of the stream, I might have been like, I'll throw some color in because it's like we're right at the beginning. I got extra time, but now I'm feeling the crunch of like, I don't have that much time. Got to move it along a little bit. All right, let me zoom out. You know, I will put the only color I'll put in, and maybe I'll just do the green for the gems because that's kind of cool, and I like doing a color pop. And I don't know if this is how they work or not, but I'm going to put a glow on them because I think that'll look cool. Plus, I did glow on like the last one or two I did, so I'll put a little bit more green, darker green around the edges there. Oh, bring us up to 75. Nope. Oh, because it's on the shadow layer. That's why. Okay, never mind. I'll leave that alone. But then I will put another layer. I was having a hard time getting it to be a bright green. I couldn't figure out why, but it was on a layer that I had the opacity turned down on. Turned down for what? And then I'll put a little bit of white in there too. All right. And I'll bring that down to 75. Whoop. Wait a minute. 50? 50. Let's see. Ox, doubling down. Garfield is Kazamek. Mr. KT Man. Oh, well, that's very kind of you to say, Mr. KT Man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to call him done for now. Or, well, done forever. Again, if I had more time, it'd keep going. And I already forget his name. Calibretto? Caleb. Okay. So we'll go ahead and erase all this and prepare for our final request of the night. Let me take a look at what is on the list. We got Garfield the cat as a mech. We had Gartham from the Dark Crystal, which I would love to do, but I feel like that's going to be another super complicated one to do right, especially because it's mostly black. I think there was another that I accidentally got rid of. So those are the only two I'm looking at right now. Oh, Danny had one from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Rule 34. Yeah, I'm not doing that, Guaca. This is a family-friendly stream. I appreciate your request, but believe it or not, I'm going to do Garfield the cat as a mech. I can't believe that is what I'm picking, but that is what I'm picking. So Garfield the cat as a mech, you are next. And let me pull up a Garfield. Even though I should know Garfield really well. When I was a kid, I loved Garfield. It was my favorite comic strip. The show I liked okay, but the comic strip I loved. And I would actually, like, there was a Hallmark store within bike riding distance of my house when I was like 9 or 10. And I would ride my bike there, and they had a whole bunch of posters and, like, you know, kind of motivational posters you buy, put in office for like $5-10 of Garfield saying various things, like how he hates Mondays. And I would spend hours like riding my bike there and reading them all. And then once in a while I'd save up enough money to buy one. But even if I couldn't, I would just browse the greeting cards. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't even love Garfield now. Like, and it, like, a lot of stuff I liked when I was a kid, I get it. And not that I hate Garfield or anything, but I loved him way too much. Like, Guaca, family friendly. The aristocrats. Oh, you mean the Disney movie? Danny, remove. What are you trying to remove? Your request, or I'm not. I don't have that command set up, so I'm not sure what you're trying to do. Sorry, Alex. Oh yeah, Abe Sapien. Maybe like the face and some torso on the Gartham. Yeah, maybe, but again, unfortunately, I'm not gonna do that today. I apologize. I've chosen Mecha Garfield. I don't know why. It just honestly, like, I did Mecha Jack Skellington earlier, and I can't explain why, but I feel like Mecha Garfield makes more sense, which in and of itself doesn't make sense because neither of them makes sense. But something about Garfield being a mech, like, it's sillier. Oh, I know why, probably because I have seen a Hello Kitty mech, and so maybe like, oh, a cat as a mech makes more sense than a skeleton as a mech, like, which it doesn't, but maybe there's some subconscious thing got planted in me, you know. I don't know. Fix the flow there a little bit. Okay, and let me make him a little bit smaller. I'm not gonna do as much of the body as I did on Jack, but let's see. He's gotta have a big round Garfield gut. So he's definitely, that is also very opposite too, because Jack was super skinny and tall, and Garfield's chubby and short. The arms are the weird part because they kind of stick out. Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna stick with that face, but let me redo this part here. I'm not digging it. Not digging it. Holy cow, what's going on? Notorious, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. I think, is that a resub? I feel like you may have subscribed before, but either way, I appreciate it. I didn't even know you were here. Let's see, said can't hang, but dropped in to do my Prime sub. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. You have a good night as well. All right, so let me move Garfield up here a little bit. I think, oh, I know what I want to do. I'm just going to flip this. Edit, transform, flip horizontally. No. I thought that's what I wanted, but it's not. I don't know why, but I thought this would be easier, but I think I found Jack actually easier to do. I think because he was already so skinny, it lent himself like to a thin robot, whereas Garfield, like, I keep when I segment him, he ends up looking more like a snowman, which is not my intention. You know what? Oh, I know what. I'm going about this all wrong. I'm trying to make it look like Garfield's body. What I should do is have it look like Garfield's head, and then not at all just like crazy like somebody. It's not like Garfield got turned into a mech. It's like someone said, "Oh my God, I love Garfield. Garfield's the best. I have this huge death machine mech. I don't care. Rip the head off. Put a Garfield head on." That's what we're doing. That is what we're doing. It's Garfield head on a mech. Like literally, like if you had a toy of a Gundam and you had a toy of Garfield and just swap their heads. That's the way to do this. Solved. Yes. Hear that? Chop, 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 chop. It's flying now. Now we know what we're doing. It's just super big and buff and crazy. I love it. I was doubting myself, but then the truth was revealed. All right, let's see what we got here. In chat, did I miss anything? Ox, notorious. You are hashtag ninja. Eating metal lasagna. I think, you know what? I think I could go right in on top of this and just go right to the 20 with 75 opacity. I think that's where I'm at with this. The only thing I got to worry about is getting Garfield's face right. And even that, it's going to be a metal version, so... Oh, that's too thin of a line. Hold on. Let me bring it back up to 25. Okay. There we go. He's got his ears. That one looks weird. Yosh. Okay. And then we're going to get his eyes fluctuate depending on who drew them and when. But because this is a robot artificial version of Garfield, that circle is terrible. Let me do that again. Speedy. No, one more time. Oh my God, I cannot do this. Good enough. Because then when we put these in, that'll fix some of the problem there. There we go. Have like kind of a bored Garfield look on top of his crazy Gundam missile body. He's got these weird, I guess it's supposed to be like hairs. I never thought about it before. These like black lines on top of his ears. And then his nose actually covers up part of his eyes. So I have to erase there. That's not right. His eyes don't come down that much. They kind of go into the nose. Okay, so maybe I should have drawn the nose first. And that informs how the eyes work. That does seem to be a better method in the future. If you're ever drawing Garfield, maybe draw the nose first. Noted. All right, and then his cheek pieces come up by the eye. And then this comes down and up, down and up. This is after Garfield found out about Gazorp. He's like, no, there can be only one. For those that don't know, Gazorp field is the on Rick and Morty. It's like a interdimensional cable, and there's a Garfield that's Gazorp field, and he's basically Garfield, but he's like, I don't know, he's red and he has arms coming out of his head or something. Hold on. What's going on here? I feel like my rough looks more like Garfield than this does. Why is this getting weird? Let me move this down. I think I'm making the bottom of his face too big is the problem. He's got like a wide face and then like not much here. So let me do this. That's a little better. But I made that side not wide enough. Who'd have thought that the Garfield head part would be the hard part of this? Abe, thanks, Abe. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Thanks for all that you do, for everything that you are. What? Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. All right, so then we'll give him this little there. Oh, stripes. That's also why he's looking weird, because he has the stripes. about 4 looks like, and they're not full straight. They're kind of like, you don't draw them solid. You give them lines like that. There you go. That's helping everything. And then he's got a couple little whiskers coming out of his ears, but not on his face, which is interesting. I never thought about that. He's got 3 little dots here. Okay. I think that'll do for that pass on Garfield. Maybe I'll go back in with more details soon, but for now, let's just make up some mech tech that couldn't really exist in real life. We're gonna have some missiles that almost look like spikes coming out here, but then underneath we're gonna have a bank of more traditional missiles like you'd see on a Robotech fighter or a Gundam or any Japanese, where they just open up a panel and it's like and it's just like streams of smoke, and that's like all the missiles. So that'll be the bottom bank here. But then the top bank is these spikes, which are also missiles. Maybe they have chains in them. Who knows? They're crazy. And then up top, oops, just sort of a connector. Who knows why? Because Zaz. All right, let's see. Ox nailed it. Thanks. I think I have a little bit too much shadow under his eye. When I said eye, I meant nose. So I'll do that and then reconnect him. There, it's better. So it was looking a little unintentionally Hitlery. I didn't mean to do that. All right, and then the key to making unbelievable scientific tech garbage look more believable is you make it symmetrical. Just gonna put the same nonsensical missile launcher on this. Oh, hold on, I did that too many. 4. So the first one I just made up out of nowhere, didn't worry about rules. And this one, I'm just trying to make it look as much like that one. So again, 3 of these. So it's like, oh, well, that's crazy, but they must sell them. They're mass produced. They come in a set. He's got 2, so somebody made it. It must work somehow. It's not perfect logic, but I found it serves me sometimes. It's the same with like bad anatomy or stylistic anatomy. Like someone like Jack Kirby, and I'm not saying he has bad anatomy, but he definitely has stylistic anatomy. And I've heard people talk about how like he might draw like a weird wonky knee, or make a decision to make a squiggle, be an elbow or something. But if he did that once, it would look weird. But if he does it every time he draws that character and all the characters in that universe, now it's a choice, and now it makes sense, and now it doesn't look like a mistake. It's just a style. And I haven't really reached that where I could do that with my anatomy and stuff, but when it comes to like made up technology, I use that all the time. It doesn't always have to be symmetrical, but if you throw that symmetrical on there, suddenly it looks correct on purpose, at least. All right, put a couple, like a chain thing coming down here. Maybe that's a bullet feed or a missile feed, who knows? All right, and then gotta put an opening for the head. And we'll put some, I don't know what these are, connectors, stanchions. I don't know what a stanchion is. Is that like a ladder? I'm not sure. But anyway, put 3 of them. And then we bring this up. So this is its own little thing, like kind of jutting out. And then right here, I like to do these things too. It's kind of like a vent. So maybe it vents plasma, or it cools them off, or maybe, it could like spray out some kind of poison. Who knows? I think a lot of older robot designs, which I'm a bigger fan of, they would put a bunch of like details just to make it look cool, just to fill it up, make it look detailed. And then later, like 3 issues in, 5 episodes in, they'd be like, oh, that star on his arm? It comes off and he throws it because it's made of energy. And so I like that idea of giving myself the option of like, oh, I'll just put some stuff on here. And maybe it's nothing, or maybe in one story we need to figure out how they're, hang gliding. Well, because this unfolds into a hang glider, like, why not? All right, so I'll put some button things here. And I'll put some more of those grates here. Again, who knows what that's going to do one day. And I'm going to put some black on this. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some Garfield stripes on the armor. Because again, this is like, I imagine it's some mech that they already had. They just ripped the head off. But, hey, spray paint's cheap. They just customized it with a little bit of Garfield stripes. And now it seems like, oh, it was always intended to be this, obviously. Oops. I think, you know what? I'm going back to Garfield, and I think I need to make, well, I don't need to, but I want to make, I think that's the mistake I made from the beginning, is I made his eyes kind of the right size, but I made the bottoms longer than the tops, and the top should be the long part. where they come almost up to the ears. A, for just design purposes, but B, I could see the reason they designed it that way is to give him more of a sarcastic, smarmy, like, like you know, kind of looking under his eyelids at you. Let's see. Ox says, this random request has turned out better than I could have trumped up. Well, good. I'm glad, since you're the main one that needs to be happy about this. All right. Maybe I'll, oops. Let me zoom out a little bit here. I gotta take another sip. I'm very thirsty for some reason. I guess it's the fact that I've been talking for like 2 hours, maybe. Right, zoom out a little bit more. Okay. And I have this sort of pipe thing coming off here, and then I'll throw a pipe thing coming off here. And a little tab, line. Where are we at? 7:40. Okay, so yeah, if there was any doubt, this is definitely the last one for the night. You're getting the overtime. Missed a show last week, now you get the overtime. Okay. And we'll go ahead and have a shoulder part. Put a little bit of black on there and there and there. Bring that out, and then, I don't know, put some kind of fin thing. And then once again, we'll come over here and do the same thing. Some kind of fin thing. And the black and the black and the black. I kept saying this was like a Gundam, but I realized it doesn't really look much like a Gundam at all. But that was just to describe the idea that it existed already as a mech, and that they were customizing a mech to be Garfield as opposed to Garfield himself transforming into a robot, which would be completely different. So unrealistic. All right, let me turn off this bottom layer. Okay. And oh, you know what? Maybe we could. I kind of want to give him a tail, but I don't know how that would work with the mech. Not that, I mean, not that it's realistic. I guess I'll just do it and pretend like, you know, they just added it on. Although his tail doesn't usually go up. Yeah, no, I'll leave the tail out. Not because of realism of how a mech would work, but because of realism of his personality. His tail's down almost always, so it would look weird to have it up because that's a sign of happiness for cats. And Garfield's rarely happy unless he was eating lasagna or something. Let's see. Samurai, can't you just give him a few optical wire? Oh, shut up. I'm not giving him a mohawk. You're gonna have to wait. That's gonna be next phase in the evolution of your requests. But I will put a couple more Garfield stripes on his shoulder here and here. And then I'm going to put a little... You know how pilots like to write stuff on their planes sometimes? Well, there we go. A little Odie stinks. All right, and I think I will throw just a splash of color on this because it is Garfield, so I want to make him actually be orange. Hold on a sec. I'm going to duplicate this layer since I'm coloring. There we go. So I'm going to do some orange. I'm going to not be super precious about the color, though. Come on. Pencil. And we'll bring it up to 58. Garfield. How'd this theme song Garfield go? Friends are someone you can open up to when you feel like you're a giant mech. Friends are someone you can fire missiles at. His missiles, like when they hit, they explode into hairballs. That would be his final attack, actually. He opens his mouth, and he's like, ho, and then like a nuclear bomb falls out. A little bit of yellow for his muzzle. Yellow-orange. Actually, should be more yellow than that, I think. There we go. This is so weird. The look on his face, I wasn't going for that originally, but he kind of has a look of like, like, who would have expected? It's like very weird look on his face, but that's fine. All right, and then we'll do a background color and then make the mech mostly white. Let me see if I could do a selection on the lines. I probably won't be able to, but I'll give it a shot. Maybe it'll work. Select inverse, select modify, contract by 3, And then let's put some white down. Poof. Ah, okay, that worked pretty good actually. Saved me a lot of work right there. Just fill in a little gaps. Keep. The white does help give it more of a Gundam look, even if the design is not so Gundam. Again, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with saying it's Gundam. Okay, and I'll put a little bit of subdued red for these spikes. And a little bit of subdued orange on these. And down here, and then I'll grab a bluish color for the vents. It's kind of a dark blue. Simrak Star Commander is definitely piloting it. Well, yeah, she definitely would have the thirst for war. And maybe I'll put these in too. And I'll just use this for all the kind of whatever might be black. Oh, that shouldn't be filled in. There we go. And we're almost done. I guess I'll put one layer of like a cell shading over the top of the whole thing. Oh no, you know what? I want to make that light up. Gonna make that light up and fill that in. And this should not be filled in. Okay, and we'll put sort of another layer of grayish for a few pieces. Let me get this a little bit bigger just to make sure everything doesn't look perfectly white and black. Well, I know it's blue, but I'm imagining it being black, but we'll put just a few more colors so it actually looks like it's made out of several different materials that weren't all necessarily painted exactly the same. More white to erase. Okay. And a line going up and a line coming down, but they seem to land on common ground. When things go wrong, we make corrections. See, now that might seem out of nowhere, but that was a Paula Abdul song called Opposites Attract, which she performed with who? MC Scat Cat, an animated cat. So boom, right there, right on target, right on theme. All right, so I will do one more random shade for this piece, and right in there, and this, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little glow color. We'll do yellow, put it over the top of that. Be like here. Oh, actually, I want to put that on top of everything. There we go. And here. And maybe here. I'll give them lots of. That's the glow show today. Why not? And we'll make this even bigger, and we'll bring this down to 50. Why is that not? Oh, 5. I always do that. I mean to go to 50%, and I go to 5, and then nothing happens. I'm like, why no go? Well, now it go. And then I'll put a little bit of white. And I'm going to lower these because these are all much too bright. Bring it down to, oops, bring it down to 50. I'll bring it down to 50, but then I'm actually going to draw yellow for the lights. That's what I'm going to do. So it'll have a solid underpinning, undercoloring, whatever you want to call it, like that. Ox says, you swap that mech in for Scrapper and Pacific Rim 2, and you got a killer movie. You are all about the mech mashups today. All right, so I'll do one quick pass. Let me merge that down. One quick pass of a cell shade, and then we'll be done. Merge down. Just checking the time real quick. Do. All right. Let's try that again. The selection I did not. Oh, there we go. I didn't do inverse. That's what I did not do. Brush. Okay, here we go. Yeah, look, now it works, but it's at 50%, which is not what I intended. We'll have as though the light is coming from underneath. Well, it is because there's those spotlights, so that works. So we're not going to get, this is, it's actually not exactly cell shading because it would be a little more precise, but I'm just using black as the main point I was trying to get across there. And then I'll take this down to 50. And then I'll go ahead and erase some of that. 50% opacity on a soft brush. And we'll bring it up to about 100 pixel diameter. Just to soften it because it was a little bit too shadowy in my opinion. But I am also going to put a little shadow in the background because otherwise this doesn't make sense, the type of shadow we have. So now we'll go in the background. And I'll do just a really dark green where it's almost black. It'll be easier if I zoom out. I'm going to do more than one pass on this. So we'll do this. Okay, and then I'll do the eraser again, but bigger, like this. And then we'll take that down to 50. And then we'll put another layer of actual black with a bigger diameter, and we'll bring the opacity down to 75. Doop 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 doo 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 doo. And we'll bring that down to 75. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's how it is. Like he's coming out of the darkness to deal with us. Oop! I hit revert, and did I just erase all my work? I might have. I might have. Let me see. Edit, undo, revert. Wow. If I had kept going, would have lost all that. Not that it's the end of the world, but that would have been funny and a little disappointing. So let's see. Garf number 1. All right, so he's all done. I'm going to move this over here and start the closing ceremonies a little bit here. Let's see. It's about 8 minutes to 8, so I'm getting hungry, and I've enjoyed my time with you folks, but I do think it's time to start wrapping up. I want to thank you all for being here. Let me see if I could do, there's a credits thing that I was trying to do, and I was unable to do it for some reason. So let me see here if I can make it work. It should be when I turn this on. Maybe I got to bring it up above everything. Let's see. Do we see anything? No. It's supposed to be that when I turn it on, everybody that's cheered or done anything nice will show up, but it's not working. So we'll worry about that later. So what I will do is start getting ready to see if we could raid somebody to share the love a little bit. I'm going to close Photoshop over here. Okay, Photoshop's closed. You can look at my desktop with my, those are not my toys. Those are toys I would like to have, but those are just some cool 80s toys. So let me open up Twitch here, and we'll see if there's any cool art people or anybody that I could send some love over to. I'm opening up my channel first. Let's see. Baja Bug, Jay Hansen Art. Let's see. Jay Hansen Art is doing art. Okay, cool. So I'm going to set up a raid. I won't start it yet, though. But usually I say I'm going to do it, and then I sit here trying to figure it out. So I'll get it all set up. Jay Hansen _art. Will it work? It will work. Okay, so I'll send it in a second. So let's see what we got here. We got a lot of cool requests. We got a lot of fun people. I thank everybody for coming and checking it out. I thank you if you've given me a request, if you've not given me a request, if you've given me bits, whatever. Try to do this every week. I missed last week, unfortunately, but usually it's from 5:30 to 7, an hour and a half, and I take requests and I alternate with things that I feel like sketching. Although very often I'll just start doing requests, and sometimes I go a little late. And I'm also on YouTube, well, I'm on Twitter, but barely. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook are the main places you can find me. I'm on Gazbot on all of them. And like I said, if I do a lot more finished artwork on those other formats. Sometimes I do random streams here, but every Friday you could find me here. So thank you very much for everybody who's checked me out in the past, present, or in the future, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, that's cool too. For now, I'm going to send a raid over to Jay Hansen Art, so give him some love, maybe say hello, drop some emotes before you take off, or stick around. All right, thanks a lot. This is Gazbot. Powering down.